y'all look at the SpongeBob thing?
Yeah. I didn't watch the whole thing.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
right,
I did.
Right, yeah.
I was really confused, I'll tell you that.
Right.
It took me a minute to really settle in with what was happening.
Right.
Because I didn't read about it, I just started watching it.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I seeing?
Uh-huh. They did the whole movie.
Wow. I just kind of skipped through it and was like, oh, holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I read what the article was talking about. So
Yeah. That's cool.
might as well. Hey.
The boys are back.
Yo.
Boys.
The boys are back in town.
Hello, welcome
What
to
is
the show.
up, folks? Heyo, we missed you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it seems like it's been forever since we've been able to hang
Seems
out.
like it's been
Yeah.
2
You know?
weeks.
Which is too long.
Way too fucking long.
2 weeks too long.
I'm
A fortnight.
A fortnight.
Yeah. I'm Scott.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Phil.
Heyo.
When you stare into the abyss stares back and then sends a giant flying steak monster to eat your face. This week we're talking about Made in Abyss!
God, man.
To
that-
kick
boy.
off,
Anime!
Boy. Oh, guys, there's a reason for the seasons, and the reason is Moe.
yeah. That's right. We gotta feel good.
We gotta feel. Yo,
Oh, they took that away,
Right.
didn't
They
they?
took that
Oh.
away.
There's no good feeling.
We'll get into it.
Ooh, God. Speaking of heartbreak. Okay, so Scoot, 2 weeks, man.
It's been a minute. What do you think I've been doing?
Watching anime.
Watching a shit ton of anime.
All of the anime.
All of it. I finally got caught up on Now and Then, Here and There.
Oh yeah,
Watched
totally.
that.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's not that long though, right? It's like what, 6, 10 episodes?
No, it's longer than that.
Man,
Longer
I don't
than that.
remember it being that long.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah, it's been a long time
it's-
since I've seen
It's
that.
been a minute. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't think it really kicked in for me until the very end, and then I was
Okay,
like, oh,
yeah.
this is the point of this.
Yeah.
You know, until then it's just wow, this is just brutal and sad.
Brutal and sad.
But hey, you know, I like that shit. Got into man, I had a bunch. Let's see. Moriarty the Patriot.
Oh, I don't know about
That's
that
a
at
weird
all.
combination
Um,
of
it's-
phrases
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
really like The
it's-
Patriot.
Yeah,
No.
it's you know, Professor
So I see
Moriarty.
Moriarty as Mel Gibson.
Yeah. But it's
You
more.
mean Mel Gibson, the Patriot?
No, I mean Moriarty.
okay.
Like Professor Moriarty. You know, Holmesville.
As
yeah,
Mel
yeah.
Gibson.
As Mel
In
Gib-
The Patriot.
No, a
Man.
pretty anime boy.
Right.
So he's not fighting Robert Downey Jr.
No.
I just
Why'd you watch this again?
Because it's
anime.
anime, and it was there. Started watching. Talentless Nana. Watched that one finally.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything about it because literally saying anything about it will spoil it immediately.
Okay.
But it's really good. You should check it out.
Is show.
Is show, and
Okay.
good show,
And
very
good show.
good show.
Okay.
Yeah, it pulls the rug out from under you real fucking quick.
Nice.
And then
Heard.
it's like, oh, this is what this show is. It's not what you think it is.
Is that a good thing?
it's a great thing.
Heard.
Oh yeah. The goodwill that I got from that first episode pretty much carried me through the rest of the show, which I will admit is mostly mediocre. But
Okay.
you know, hey,
Yeah.
it's a fun premise.
Yeah.
But I don't want to tell you what it is because it will spoil everything. And then what was another one? I've been keeping up with Spy Family. It's still great.
I mean, it's what, episode
York and-
5 now?
Yeah, it's on episode 5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna ignore the X?
Man,
Is
you know
that-
what?
is that-
Like I've heard it said a million different ways.
Yeah,
like,
because
Spy
again,
X Family,
I still, because this is anime,
Hunter X
I'm gonna
Hunter X Hunter.
Yeah.
re-say
Gun
this,
X
this
sword,
thing. Every
you know?
anime needs a part at the beginning where they go, and this is how you say the
And
name.
this is
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Then we can move
Understand
on.
our naming convention,
Right.
please.
Man, there were a couple others that I really wanted.
'Cause it could
to
be
get.
Spy
God,
Cross
finally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be Spy Cross Family.
It really could.
It
you
could
know?
be, and it would
And
work.
it would make sense.
All of them would work.
Yeah.
whatever. I hear more people say Spy Family, so I'm just going with that.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I'll
Ignore
follow,
the X.
I'll follow the crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, but man, I had a whole bunch. I had like a list. I was just like, this is what I've been doing. Literally nothing but anime.
So you've just been hammering out seasons?
Yeah.
Like just okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heard. Yeah.
Started watching a certain Magical Index,
Okay.
and you know, why do people like that show?
Mm.
Like why? Why?
But
It's not good.
You're still watching it.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love it. I just don't know why I
So,
love it. That was a
like-
legitimate question. Why do I like this? It's terrible. It's like the character designs are good, the OPs are consistently fire,
Yeah.
but like most of the show is just people either monologuing or over explaining everything, even in battles, and it's just like
Oh, even in battles.
even in battles.
Oh, they talk over the battles.
Yeah, they do that fate shit. You know.
Yeah, wasn't that in Jujutsu Kaisen where they actually make that part of the canon where it's
Yeah.
like if you explain
If you
your
explain-
technique, it
yeah.
makes it stronger.
Makes
Oh
them
my
stronger.
God.
You know, yeah.
Exactly.
It's great.
That's
It's
Yeah,
so good.
Exactly.
So you have to say the name of the move
See?
and
Yep.
then tell people what it does,
Yeah.
and then it makes it stronger.
yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I love it.
So,
that
man,
tracks.
yeah. There was a couple of Orange. Watched Orange. That
okay.
manga that I guess Lime,
Lime
got.
got,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know I had recognized.
Lime got orange.
She got orange. Yeah, that's right.
I
Lime
knew
got-
I recognized those
Wait,
characters.
y'all need a lemon. It sounds
I
like.
need a lemon.
Oh, that's good. Oh,
I kill me.
I put that on a shirt.
Yeah.
Lime got orange. People would never know what it meant.
Right. That's great.
Ultimate inside joke.
Yeah, dude.
But that was a good show.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
knew I
yeah.
recognized those characters, like when you showed me that picture that she sent you. Like I was like, I recognize that, and it just kind of popped up when I was browsing Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I'll give it a shot. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's
They,
very
they know what you look at.
Oh yeah.
Be prepared. A lot of heartbreak in that show. But yeah,
So,
man, that's
how
been
long
it.
has the anime been? I mean, the manga been running for Orange. Did you
Oh,
do
I
any
don't know.
research
I
into
didn't
it?
do any
Okay.
research. I just watched the show.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. that
So you don't
was
know
it.
how long it is or anything
No.
like. Okay.
No.
Yeah, because the art style looked really, really cool.
It's interesting, and they
don't
translate
know
that
anything
pretty
about
well.
this.
I just saw that cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dramedy, not Romedy,
Dramedy?
Dramatic
Dramatic comedy.
yeah, romantic dramedy essentially, and, like, you know, with some light time travel shit in it. You
Okay.
know? So
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know, pretty cool.
A paradox or two, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, it goes from the branching paths theory.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
you know,
that's the easy way
they-
out.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's
So
the-
they kind of cover their asses there.
Oh, that's the easy way out. They didn't
But-
fuck himself like Terminator.
Jesus.
Let's make a loop that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Other than that, what have you guys been up to?
What up, PK?
What a boy.
Okay.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
That's,
On that
figured.
Mercs?
dude,
On the
yeah.
Mercs.
I mean, I've been sucked into it. Every night I play at least a little bit of it. And
So, how do they handle it? Do they handle it like RE8, whereas like as you go through, you unlock the ability to purchase more weapons to go back in there with, or
no, it's pretty much the same way that it was handled in classic RE4,
Okay.
where everybody just has a specific loadout.
right? Gotcha.
And,
Yeah.
But this is the cool thing. Not only do they have the main mode, they also have all these challenge modes.
Right.
And those challenge modes will give you like very strange parameters. And now that I've gone through the whole, like, there's one where everything's double speed.
Including you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Everything. I
Oh,
mean,
awesome.
you move sickeningly fast. It's
Right.
like Doom guy fast.
Oh
You know what I mean?
my
Like, yeah,
No.
that it kind of feels like that. But when they throw shit, that shit is at you. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And they're all
How can
moving
you
really
keep
quick.
up?
It's hard. It's hard as
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, that's the is that the last one? No, the last one is you can't get touched at all. It's like one hit.
Just
kill.
one hit kill.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the
That's
the last challenge. But
Okay.
man, there's one where there are no standard time pickups with Ada, but you're constantly getting random time extensions that pop up on the map. So you have
to race to
You have to
those?
race to them the whole time
Right.
while you're keeping your kill count up to make sure that you're. So
That's awesome.
dude, it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Like there's one with I think I was telling you guys about this one, the one with the Chicago typewriter.
Yes.
And it's just infinite ammo, and you just have to.
That I would just do that.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking wonderful.
Yeah. That sounds fun.
But I got through all of that. I've unlocked the majority of it. There's even like you can unlock big head mode.
Oh,
so
awesome.
the rewards
When's
are
the last time?
modifiers.
When's the last time you
rewards-
saw a big head mode in something,
Yeah,
man? For
really?
real. Like,
Seriously?
It's been a while.
Yeah, like
That's
GoldenEye flashbacks.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
NBA
Time
Jam.
splitters.
Shit,
Fucking,
dude.
yeah,
Oh,
dude.
what was
NBA
that?
Jam was great.
NBA
yeah.
Jam was
Tony
awesome.
Tony
Yeah.
Hawk Pro Skater, dude.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
That was always
totally.
my favorite for big
Yeah,
head mode.
that's
dude.
a-
Big
that was a
head
good one.
mode, guys. We need that more often.
Yeah.
we
Gears of War big head mode. I think they
Yeah,
did like
yeah.
they did like a seasonal thing like that. With
Halo did it too.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
totally.
cool.
And then
yeah.
they even had the headshots that burst the heads into potpourri. It's not potpourri, but
Potpourri.
not potpourri. Sorry, confetti.
Confetti.
Yes. And then you also
Into
got
potpourri.
Yay!
Potpourri.
Yeah, for real. That's funny. The potpourri. It smells fantastic.
But no, okay.
It smells
so
like grunt.
it's like that's not a good smell.
I don't know, man.
Grunt.
Depends on who you are.
Grunt sounds like a perfume,
I
doesn't
feel
it?
like it does.
Grunt.
Grunt.
Don't you want grunt?
You know,
Like a
I feel like
cologne
the
or
Master
some
Chief loves the smell of grunt innards.
In the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
all
Love the
day.
smell of grunt in
Loves
the
it.
morning.
Yeah. Smell of success.
He's like a dog. He rolls around and let me get some of that on me. Take it inside. Sleep on the bed.
as they always,
always do.
fucking
It's
do.
like hey, if I give her a bone, if I give my dog a bone, she takes it right to my bed. It'll have some
Right.
steak on it. I just got most of my
Uh-huh.
off there, little chunks. She takes it right,
right
to the bed.
Like,
Like, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Sleep there.
And then she's like, oh yeah, get some.
I was like, I gave it to you right here. Why don't you just eat it right here?
So yeah, the unlocks. The unlocks don't apply to mercenaries. They're like story unlocks.
What?
Yeah. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah. So all the unlocks, like I got the hand cannon, I got the typewriter, I got other stuff like that. You know, you can get the costumes. You know, because Ashley in the suit of armor and
Right.
yeah. So I mean, I unlocked just about everything. But that's all I've been doing is trying to 5-star all those levels.
Do you
I
have to-
seriously haven't played another
Do you have to
game.
buy the guns in the story mode when you unlock them in the horde mode?
The typewriter's $1 million.
Oh my!
But
Okay.
it's infinite ammo.
Right.
So that's why they're doing that to you. you know?
Gotcha.
But the hand cannon was free. But it has an upgrade path too, and it looks like the broken butterfly did the most magnum damage,
Mm-hmm.
and it caps out at 50.
Right.
The hand cannon you can get to 60, but I haven't upgraded the capacity all the way so I can get the extra, because you know you always get the bonus, and I'm imagining that's going to take the damage up to 70, 80, 100, something like that.
Right.
But it's already stupid.
Yeah.
Like with the hand cannon, because I don't know if you guys know the trick, the Resident Evil trick, right? You get the gun, you get a magnum, and you use all the bullets, and then you don't reload the weapon. You go upgrade the capacity.
Right. Yes.
And then you
Absolutely.
get free
Every
bullets.
time, absolutely. Anytime you're gonna upgrade your ammo capacity, make sure you spend
use
all of your
all of
ammo.
it.
Yes,
I know.
absolutely.
Yeah, I've known about that.
Absolutely. How's the sniper rifle?
Oh, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was always my jam.
Yeah, because I mean, sniper rifle, when you pull it in, I think it works really well, and it kind of gives you a little circle on there with the crosshairs.
The reticle.
Yeah, it works just fine. But also, you can just hold it out and
Right.
blind fire it.
Hell yeah.
You know, so you don't have to pull it up.
that was always my favorite weapon.
Yeah.
So good.
Totally, man. Yeah, sniping people is easy in VR.
Oh yeah.
It feels nice. God, I think and that's part of the reason why I didn't like playing After the Fall. Let me tell you that, because I've been playing so much Resident Evil, and it is perfect.
Right.
It's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in Resident Evil, when you're not looking and you go to reload your weapon, it works every time, no problem.
Right.
After the Fall's a little clunky, and I like
You gotta
doing
change
the,
that shit, dude.
Man, I like doing
I
it,
like
though.
it too,
I
but
like-
when you were talking about hordes coming at you so quickly,
Yeah, you don't
it's a
have the
drawback.
time for
Nobody
it.
uses it.
Yeah.
Dude. Nobody uses it because with the other reload system, all you do is press the B button. It ejects your cartridge.
Yeah.
You touch your gun to your chest. It reloads it,
Okay.
and then you chamber the round. So it's just like boom, and then you're back in
That's
action.
a little faster.
It's way faster.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because you don't run the risk of like accidentally dropping ammo as much.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're inaccurate in any way, you're just gonna waste ammunition, and you can't afford to do it in that game. You burn through ammo so fast. You know, that horde mode needs some lotion.
It does.
It really does.
Yeah.
It needs a little work. You know?
I don't like the visuals of it. I feel like they kind of just pop out of nowhere rather
Yeah,
than
right.
feeling like they're coming from somewhere into the
Well,
into
I
the
mean,
space.
you can
I
see
feel like
where
there's,
they're.
like,
Yeah, well, you can see where they're coming from. They
Yeah.
just jump off of high areas and whatever, and then they're down there with you. But
yeah. It's also
I
a little
feel like
small
it's,
too.
It's very small, and
Yeah.
it feels, for lack of a better term, dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, seriously, it doesn't feel like, you know, you're in an active environment where, you know, it just seems like, okay, here's a shooting gallery.
Yeah, totally.
And, you know, like, meh, whatever.
What about you?
Me? Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, so
I know what you've been doing.
look, all I've been wanting to do is play Bug Snacks a la Big Snacks. Okay? That's it. That's it.
Get bungered.
I want to get bungered on, man. I want to get big bungered.
Big
All right, I
bungered.
want to get big bungered. But unfortunately, I just
Is
been
that a
hit by
banger?
the big bunger banger.
Banger.
But no, man, I keep getting sidetracked. I got obsessed with Warm Snow, man. Warm
Oh,
Snow
yeah.
just grabbed me by the balls and wouldn't let me go. Warm Snow is a roguelike from a Chinese developer called Bad Mud. Okay. And so it's very similar to, I hate making comparisons in a lot of cases to being like, oh, this game is like this game. It gives people a misnomer. You know, some say that comparison is the thief of joy. But it is very similar to Hades.
Oh,
It
okay.
is very, very similar to Hades.
It looks
just
like
the way
Hyper
that-
Light Drifter to me.
kind of like that,
Yeah.
you know. You have your melee attack itself. So of course it's all, you know, kind of that top down.
Yeah.
But you have your melee attack, and then you have these swords that are on your back that you can fire. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you can shoot. You have 6 of those. You can shoot those out. Then you have a button to recall those swords. So you know, yeah, it does damage on the
You're
way
like
out,
Virgil.
damage on the way back
Yeah,
in.
dude.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, of course, as you go through, you clear a stage, you get these different boons and buffs that really let you kind of min-max your character. What up, Artagoth?
What
And
up?
so the coolest thing is that you have 4 different slots for each one of these mods to go into, right? So you have a core slot, a power slot, an agility slot, and then an ability slot, right? So you can actually, like, let's say I get something that ups poison damage.
Okay.
If it goes into
Yeah.
my core slot, it may give me a passive boost to poison. You know, anybody I hit with my swords, you know, they'll get poisoned.
Yeah.
Right.
If I put it in my power slot, it may give me an active skill that just does like a massive poison explosion. If I put
Okay.
it into agility, whenever I dash, you know, kind of like Hades. You know, whenever you dash, you might get a boon. You might get, you know, a poison bubble that appears
Yeah.
wherever you land.
Yeah,
You know,
or
you
the
put it in the
trail
last slot.
of,
Right,
whoever
exactly.
walks through, yeah.
Exactly. But the coolest thing is, as you get more of these relics, you can take the one, if you would have put something into your power slot, you can take that and then move that down to your agility slot if you like the power effect of the new relic better. So you can just
Cool.
move these things around.
You don't have to
and-
just throw it away.
Exactly,
that's
awesome.
exactly.
Hell
So it
yeah.
really lets you fine tune your loadout. You know what I'm saying? And so
I imagine there's a good level of strategy in that too.
well, I mean, there are these statues that you unlock. There are 6 statues, and each one have 2 different paths. One is usually a long-range sword focus path, and
Okay,
one is usually
yeah.
a melee focus path.
Okay,
right?
that makes
And
sense.
so there's
Yeah.
one for like fire, one for ice, one for lightning. My lightning run. Oh my god. There's one for, of course, poison. The other side of that is bleed. And then what is the other one? Anyway, whatever. So you can choose between all of those. So they really let you min-max. It's like the real difference between Hades. Hades is all about doing your best with what you're given and making it to the end, right?
Yeah.
And by the end, you might be godlike. Warm Snow is about, and it wasn't until I finished the game that I really realized this, and I still haven't gotten the true ending, but Warm Snow is about how OP can I get by the time I get to the end. You know, how badass can my character be? Because I'm talking about
Like
you
Binding
get,
of Isaac style.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying that you really need to play this game, because as somebody who does love Binding of Isaac,
looks
someone who loves
real
Hades,
good.
Warm Snow is too much. It's too
really
much,
does.
man. And so it's one of those games, man. It's like okay, I'm just gonna do a quick run, and you know,
And
you
a few hours later.
seriously,
Yeah.
it's really easy, man.
Yeah.
It's really easy. I did like a 5-hour stream one night.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 3 runs across 3 runs. My first run, my loadout was impeccable, and then death comes swiftly. You know, second loadout, I was like, oh shit, this loadout's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Death comes swiftly. Third time, loadout was all right. Finish the game.
What
You
the
know,
fuck?
it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Well, because of course you're learning patterns and how to deal with these.
Is
boss
there
enemies and
much
stuff.
extending the story the way that Hades does? Or
Well,
is it...
yeah, you get bits and pieces of the story through, little pieces of dialogue that you find, or, little pieces of lore. It's not as like speech heavy.
Okay.
As Hades is, a lot of Hades is all about that narrative presentation.
Oh, yeah.
And those characters.
Right.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so in this one, it's really more about the environment, and then, of course, your character just becoming mighty. The whole name of the game is like there's this giant white lotus that has appeared in the middle of the shogunate's castle, and it spews out this like white. Really what they are microorganisms, and so it just spews them out, and so they come down as snow. They appear as snow, but the snow
but
is
it's
actually
spores.
warm.
There's
So
spore in
when people
everybody.
so
Oh,
people are walking
no.
around this stuff, and it's like, why is this snow not cold?
Yeah.
And anybody who inhales it gets turned into a monster. They
Man.
show you this little girl comes in with a little snowflake, shows her mom. She's like, look at this snowflake. Accidentally breathes it in, and then turns into a beast and kills her mother. Right? Like that's
Oh, wow.
that's
That's
off
cool.
Jump Street. Yeah, that's what
that's
we're
cool.
doing. And so you got to get up there and do some work. But that is phenomenal, and that took up a lot of my time last week. This week I've kind of moved on a little bit. I've tried to temper that down because that can take over my night. I'm serious. If I start playing that game, I'm not going to stop. And
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's like Returnal or any of that, you know?
Yeah. Crack, man.
Hit that
Crack.
loop.
Oh yeah. Let me hit that loop real quick. And so I started playing a bit of Beat Saber again.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a new pack for that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a few. Is that on there?
No.
Well, then I'll just go ahead and talk about it
Yeah.
now. The electronic mix tape pack came out yesterday. They just shadow dropped that shit on us.
Yeah.
It was part of the meta event. They said that they were working on it. And usually if Beat Games is like, hey, this thing's coming, usually it comes in about a week.
Okay.
Usually you have
Yeah.
about a week. But they went ahead and just shadow dropped that shit on us. And so it has 10 tracks. It's got Alone by Marshmello, Animals by Martin Garrix. A lot of these people I don't really know or care about. Freestyler by Boomfunk's MCs, which was pretty dope actually. Ghost and Stuff by Deadmau5. Icarus by Madeon. That shit is fire.
Hell
They
yeah.
put Sandstorm by Darude. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
Oh, shit.
They put
Yeah, that shit's on that,
Wow.
and it is just as hellish as you'd imagine.
Man.
Yeah, it's just constant motion. It
Yeah.
doesn't fucking stop. Zed's got a track, "Stay the Night," which is phenomenal. Fatboy Slim, the Rockefeller Skank, is on there. Right. And I was so mad
Wow.
about it because I'm like, I've been burnt out on that song for a long time. 'Cause,
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
heard it forever.
Yeah.
But it was hot.
It's
Hell yeah.
It's
still
a
good.
banger because all you think about is the "Check It Out Now,"
Yeah.
Funk Soul Brother.
Uh-huh.
But there's so much more that
The rest of
happens
the
in that
song is really
song.
good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so
The
so
hook is just what's burned into your memory.
right.
yeah.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Fucking earworm.
That's the
dude.
thing, man. They got "Waiting All Night" by Rudimental, and then "Witchcraft" by Pendulum, which I'm a big Pendulum fan. And the biggest part about this for me, man, like more Beat Saber songs are always well, good, and great. And ever since Facebook bought them, a lot of the songs have been a lot of the official songs have been like super lackluster.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
totally.
super
Uh-huh.
lackluster. This kind of goes back to form.
Yeah.
For what Beat Saber kind of started as.
I mean, that's more stylistically appropriate
Right.
for Beat Saber.
Right.
you know?
Absolutely. That Pendulum song
Yeah.
is like the most Beat Saber song since $100 bills.
Oh,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, I'm
Yeah.
serious, man. It's like since Beat Saber, since the song Beat Saber itself. But also, they just added those new mechanics, right? And so
Oh,
the
yeah.
chain notes and
Uh-huh.
the sweep notes.
Yeah.
But they added it with a 4-song pack that were all these like really kind of high intensity, very difficult songs.
Right.
So you really don't get a tutorial per se of how to, interact with these new blocks,
They
right?
just kick you into the
They just
pool.
kick you into it. Exactly, right? Deep end, right?
Deep end, yeah.
and only with a few tracks. So even if
Yeah.
you do like the mechanics, then you only have a couple songs. I mean, you're going to get burnt out on that, right? This actually gives you a nice spread of difficulty while introducing you to these mechanics as well.
And it uses the same stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because now this is almost pushed into, I don't want to say Beat Saber 2, but like Beat Saber 1.75.
Do you think that they do that for the back catalog? Like make a mode for all of them?
Eventually
where-
they
yeah.
might, because what they did before was they added a 180 degree mode,
Yeah,
and then
totally.
a 360 degree mode, and then they retroactively went back and added 180 degree or
Yeah.
360 degree to a good majority of the songs, not all of them, but there are modes for some of the songs.
Have you tried those?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
How is the 360 mode? Because that sounds fucked up.
Well, I mean, it's definitely designed for Quest.
Okay,
Definitely designed for the Quest.
Can't do that on the PlayStation.
No, hell no. They don't even have that option. No, you get 180
good.
and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so even with the Rift, it can be problematic. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because I mean, you're gonna lose tracking.
Yeah.
But I mean, Beat Saber tracks really well.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just that shit. And so, but the 180 ones, they're a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
They're
I've
a
seen
lot.
some of that where it's
It's just
it
flowing
looks-
in
it looks
all
cool.
around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so one of those things that if you don't think about it, it's fine. You can do it.
Oh, yeah.
If you start thinking about it, it's like, what the fuck is happening?
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Have you tried doing any of the custom tracks?
No. Every time they update, they
Yeah.
basically bork all the mods and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so what I want to make some.
Yeah. That'd
I
be
really
cool.
want to, because it's like, especially with these chain notes and the sweep notes, they do make the game feel more dynamic. I will say.
How do you make one? I don't think I've ever seen anybody talk about that.
Well, I mean, all you're doing is just like you got a 3D grid. And
Yeah.
You're just placing those blocks.
But
you know what I'm saying?
like, is there an editor program somebody's made?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally. Yeah, I think there's actually one.
That's
There's
fucking
there's one
awesome.
within
Yeah.
Beat Saber itself.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you can use the existing songs and make your own charts to them if you want.
Got you. But with
Yeah.
this, you just import a new
Yes.
track and then you build your own level on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you. I didn't realize there was.
Oh,
an
there
editor.
are tons of songs.
Oh,
too.
I knew that, but
Yeah.
I was thinking that there was like an external editor, like something somebody created, rather than it being just
no,
Or like a
there's
mod.
Yeah,
right,
exactly,
right.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure there is. I'm sure people have that third-party software as well, but
Yeah.
they also give you the tools in the game.
That's kick-ass.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Hell yeah.
that. Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
And now you're used to the controllers, aren't you?
Kind of.
Kind
Kind of. I'm getting there. That's really my biggest handicap.
Just think they're gun swords, man.
Well, I mean, there's that, but the problem is, like, I have these sleeves, right? I have these sleeves on them, and when you're swinging stuff like, I mean, they'll start coming loose sometimes. So what I found is that I have to put my thumb on the top of the touchpad. That's funny to say because they're called the touches. The pad of the touches, and kind of hold on to them that way.
Yeah.
That way they don't just try to fly, because they'll get really uncomfortable if you're moving really really fast, and that's the hardest thing is trying to keep a grip on them.
But you can't just grip them.
Right, that's one thing that I miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everything else is better. So moving on.
Everything else is better.
Yes, vastly superior.
News jutsu?
News juicy. And so let's go for some depression.
Rip Kevin Samuels.
Rip Kevin Samuels.
How old was he? 56?
56.
Yeah.
Died of a heart attack.
Damn.
And the problem is, man, is that people have been ripping Kevin Samuels. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I know. A lot of folks are being real hateful about him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
A lot of ladies, man, they're like, fuck it. He deserves it. He's dead.
Yeah.
Good riddance, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, wow.
And I mean, I get it. He's a controversial figure.
Yes.
Like we were, I was said something
Yeah,
to Scott,
I
and he was
don't-
like, I don't even think I know who Kevin Samuels is, and I was like,
wow.
I could see it not being your kind of content,
Right.
But he definitely gets a lot of flack for being super harsh on people.
Yeah.
But really, all he is an image consultant.
I'm almost
Right.
I'm almost positive you sent me something
Yeah.
of his.
Yeah.
You know.
And he rips into folks that call him, and the thing is, he rips into guys and girls. It doesn't matter
yeah.
who the hell calls. He's gonna rip you to pieces and tell you all the shit that you're fucking up on. But a lot of ladies really don't like it.
Well, it's only because the dude's just like
Yeah.
cut and dry, straightforward. I mean, he's not trying to like sugarcoat anything. He's just going to tell you, here's the deal, man. You can't, in his mind, it's like you can't be 300 pounds, 5'2", without a job and 5 kids from 3 different daddies, and look for a dude who makes over $100,000 a year. He's like, you're being unrealistic, and so his frame of view is always like, a lot of this isn't your fault. It's the fault of our structure and our society that's taught you to expect different things.
But these
in
are the
your
facts
life.
of
But
the way
these are the
things
facts
work.
of exactly. And so you've got to change your self-image if you want to achieve this goal. You know what I'm saying? And so, but his method of delivery is very
Harsh.
straightforward and very
fucking
harsh.
Yeah.
It's very harsh. He's like, this is what y'all need to hear, and don't interrupt me.
Yeah, dude, and he gets really pissed when people talk over him, and then he starts being shitty to you.
Oh, yeah.
like if you're polite to him, then he is polite to you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
He'll be honest with you. He'll just shoot you straight. But
Mm-hmm.
the second you start going off the rails, he will go right along with you. It's like he won't take the high road. He's going low. He's going to take you to the ground.
But shit, I've only known about this guy for maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, that's when he really started blowing up.
Right, and I mean, again, pandemic, a bunch of people were watching stuff, but it's one of those.
Well, also men's health issues. That men's health is becoming more of an issue in the public eye. People are actually thinking about it more.
Yeah.
And so, of course, which helps push him a little bit further along in his career as well. You know.
Yeah, because I mean that's one of his big things is he's all about mental health and you know telling people to go get fucking therapy. Yeah, like he tells people all the time, you need to go get therapy. Yeah, have you done that? Have you tried to help yourself? Have you tried to you know?
Yeah. So people, of course, people don't want to hear the stark reality. That's why Jordan Peterson gets so much flack. You know, like he's just telling you how it actually is. He's just not telling you what you may want to hear.
Yep.
You know, but at the same time, man, it's like some people just don't want that.
And to be honest, I bet if Jordan Peterson died, it'd be a similar clapback too.
Oh,
a bunch
dude,
of people being
a lot of people
about it.
absolutely, and that's just sad, man. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of anything, regardless of how you feel, a human lost their life, right?
Yeah,
and so,
and too young, man, way too young.
And so, especially because it seemed like he was in pretty good health. It seemed like he had no pre-existing health conditions. Look at that man.
I know.
Yeah, my dude looking fly.
Yeah, I like that's
like
one
Kirk
of the funniest
Franklin.
things that I always thought about him is I was like, you're on a level of like class, you know, of this persona, this image that I could never, I can't even like.
Oh man, yeah, there was.
He's always talking about the fragrance of the evening.
He started doing the.
He started having the
colognes.
right, and he'd recommend some watches and shit, and I'm like, dude, you're already
Bro,
way
you're
past
a
me.
G. You're a G. You know, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's because he's gay. I'm just like, well, what if he is?
No, he's an image consultant.
You know, exactly.
He's literally an image
Exactly.
consultant.
It's just like, here's how you look fly, boy. I'm just gonna tell you. Here's the mentality, down to the mentality. Here's what you have to do.
I'll miss him.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah,
I listen to his shit at least once a week, but you know.
He had some good conversations with people.
He
man.
did.
And there are a lot of women that also responded very positively.
Super positive.
You know?
Well, I mean, people that were willing to listen to his advice without arguing with him ended up getting good results from his stuff.
Exactly.
It's just that the people that want to argue get clipped,
Uh-huh.
and then that shit gets taken out of context, and they're like, look how much of an asshole he is.
Right.
He's like, well, they kind of came on his show and started being a dick first.
Exactly.
So it's hard to.
You know, so that's always kind of crazy to do.
Yeah.
Man. People, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they say you're nobody till somebody kills you. So hopefully his legacy will move on, and hopefully people will look at that content and learn something about yourself.
Dude,
you know?
he's gonna be
Do
like
better.
dude. It's like Patrice. He's gonna be getting promoted for years after his death. You know, because he spoke the fucking truth.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
The harsh reality.
The
baby.
harsh reality of that shit lives on.
You know, speaking of harsh realities.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Boy.
Man, what the
Yeah,
fuck
what the
happened?
fuck was
What
this?
the
Yeah.
fuck?
Okay. All right. So Dave Chappelle was performing at the Hollywood Bowl this past week.
That's what it is.
And and he was actually closing the show out. He was saying goodbyes and, you know, hey, we had a fun night of hip hop and laughter and, you know, y'all have a great night, all this kind of stuff. And all of a sudden this dude jumps on stage. Turns out his name is Isaiah Lee, and he's a SoundCloud rapper. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, boy. And so ends up charging and tackling Dave Chappelle. Now, he's
Yeah.
kind of slipped before he hit him, so he didn't really hit him full force.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of tussle for a quick second. Isaiah Lee gets up, tries to run backstage. Worst idea ever. So security,
They grabbed
security
his ass
grabbed his ass,
and put him on the ground
and they start
and put
just
boots
putting
on him,
to
dude. They
Yeah,
started
boy,
putting boots
putting boots to him. And so it turns out that Jamie Foxx was back there, Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, dude.
was
I
back
didn't
there.
call out Busta
Yeah, he
Rhymes.
was just like, "That's how you do it, son.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it, God." Yeah, you know. It's so good. Chris Rock got some stomps in. He was back there because he actually performed before Chappelle went on that night.
Okay.
So he was there.
He's like, I'm imagining you,
I
Will
found
Smith.
out last night that Jon Stewart was up there. Jon
Whoa.
Stewart was putting boots.
Oh,
on the
wow.
bro!
Yeah.
It's like, dude, how much of an asshole do you have to be to make Jon Stewart stop?
Right.
You know, and so you know, Dave Chappelle, man, he came out. He's still joking
Did
about
he
it.
go back there and stomp on
Hell
him?
yeah.
Because I saw him go, hold on a second. I'll
No,
be
he's
right
like,
back.
he came out. He's like, I'm gonna kill that now, and he just goes back there and just does the shit. Then he comes out and he's just like, oh my God. He's like, I've been doing this for 35 years. I just got to stomp a dude backstage. I've always wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I've always wanted to do it. And he's like, well, if you're ever in trouble, Jamie Foxx will appear in a cowboy hat. You know, Jamie Foxx is there. And but the guy apparently, I mean, they fucked him up.
Yeah, dude, his face was completely swollen.
Yeah, his arm was backwards. They broke his arm.
Wow.
Like, dude had he had a gun on him. It was like a replica gun, but it was a gun blade.
Right.
Yeah, it was a
the
gun knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why would you ever even want that?
We were talking about the Joker last night, right? That sounds like some Joker shit.
Sounds like
right.
some Joker shit.
He thought it was a gun and a knife comes out.
Right. You know, I'm like, dude, I mean, firstly, that's more of a hazard to you than anything else.
Seriously.
If you try to use it as a weapon.
What
that
the
could
fuck,
easily
man?
backfire. Like, that's not going to go your way. That is not a
could
good way to
backfire.
support a blade.
Not at all.
That does not work.
Not at all.
Secondarily,
Despite
once
what
people...
Final Fantasy may have.
Yeah, right? For real. Well, it's got to be huge.
It's
you
gotta
know?
be
It's
a
gotta
big gun
It's got to be a
sword.
sword.
This
Yeah,
is
it's
all
gotta
I
be a
could sneak
sword.
in, though.
Right. And so, but they said the security at the Hollywood Bowl was like nothing. Like, you know, people were smuggling in drinks and all sorts of paraphernalia, and nobody really cared. But yeah, Chris Rock came out at the end of it when they're all sitting there talking, and they stay on the stage because he actually kept the show going after that. He's like, that's not how the show is going to conclude.
Yeah.
We're going to keep talking.
Oh, yeah, no.
And Chris Rock came out and he was like, was that Will Smith? You know? And which is like the first thing that he said about that this whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's just like...
See, there you go, Chris.
Uh-huh.
Like, there you go,
Oh, yeah,
man.
he saw that and he's like,
See?
should I do it?
No, that's
Yeah,
the
we'll do it.
That's the perfect moment for
Uh-huh.
that. Wow.
Right,
I didn't hear
because-
you say that.
Because it was, man. And, you know, that whole situation did set forth a precedent, man. Like, you're going to have copycats, right?
Well, so what did Dave say, though? Because I don't know what's made this dumbass jump on stage. Like, did he
Well-
diss SoundCloud or something
oh,
like
my
that?
God. No, this guy, what he said that, God damn it. He said that he did it to raise awareness for his grandmother who had, like, lost her home. It was like, he said some bullshit, man. Had nothing to do with anything. You know, I mean, what it probably was is that he wanted to try to get some celebrity and maybe, you know, somebody. It was all about clout. That's all it was, man. But he made this big to-do about his grandmother and how he rushed the stage and attacked Dave Chappelle.
My plan
raise
was
awareness.
Step 1, rush stage.
Step
2,
tackle Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Step 3, get money.
Get money for grandma.
That's
You know, like, what? So
messing up.
was that the whole thing? It's like, I'm going to make Dave Chappelle whoop my monkey ass. And
Yep.
I'm a sue, and I'm a sue, but that's not how it worked. And even Dave's legal team has, they're not going to actually charge him with a felony. He's got like 4 misdemeanor charges. I think for them,
They're
it's
seriously
like,
just going to be like, look, dude, we're going to leave you alone.
Oh.
Don't say shit about
Oh,
this.
no. The message has been sent.
Yeah.
They got that picture of him with a backwards
Oh,
arm and a pummeled face for life. Because that's the thing. It's like when you have a situation like Will Smith.
I think they set a new
once again,
precedent. Is what
Absolutely,
happened.
man. Absolutely. Because you have a person of high stature,
Yeah.
a famous person, going to hit another famous person, right? You know, that's something that Dave Chappelle said to Chris Rock. He's like, this is way worse than your situation. He's like, at least you got slapped by, you know, somebody famous and somebody wealthy. He's like, I got slapped by this dude with leaves in his hair, you know? And Chris Rock was just like, well, I mean, I got slapped by the softest rapper to ever do it, you know?
Oh,
Like,
damn.
you know,
Wow.
so it was fucking hilarious.
Man.
And so, but I think at the end of the day, it's a matter of know that if you want to be a copycat and do this thing that you have seen, right, and take on that challenge, there may be some severe consequences, you know? And I think as long as that message gets out there, that helps to protect comedians. I'm telling you, there's a war on comedy, man.
That's
There's a war on comedy.
That's
So,
rough.
yeah, dude. And so, yeah, just whenever you think about doing some dumb shit, you know, just know Isaiah Lee is down an arm, and it could be you.
Dude, they stomped on him. I can't believe it.
Dude, they stomped him. They stomped, and I just love that. Can you imagine it's kind of like that dude on the airplane who was messing with Mike Tyson.
Oh, totally.
And then Mike Tyson
Totally.
came over the
And then
back
he's
of the chair.
yeah.
You know, I just imagine. I can't help but role reverse, right? I can't imagine being that dude and seeing that face swinging on me, right? Imagine being in a circle of dudes and they all stomping. You see nothing but heels coming down, and you look up and there's John Stewart. And then you're like,
Yeah, you're like, "Wait, is that John
Stewart?
This
Look
is
up,
surreal.
and there's Busta Rhymes. Like,
oh no! Shit. And it's
know?
meaty Buster
And then
Rhymes.
me-
too.
oh, dude,
it's
he
not.
is thick, boy. He is thick. Oh my God, dude, that shit cracked me up, man. Also, and once again, while we're just talking about not condoning violence or wanting anybody to die, at the same time, this is just justice.
That's instant karma, right?
Right.
Isn't that what that is?
Yeah. What is it? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Man,
damn.
like that's so fucking stupid, dude.
Yeah, dude. And of all people, Dave Chappelle.
Well, that's funny you brought up the Mike Tyson on the plane situation because I've heard a lot of people talking about that know Mike now, and they're like, I don't know how far this man must have pushed Mike to do this.
You know that Mike Tyson offered that dude some mushrooms? He was like, hey, man, just eat some shrooms. We're going to eat some shrooms with me.
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was trying to diffuse the entire situation.
Yeah.
But the dude kept on fucking with him, and then, well, he caught some light mitts. You know?
Dude, I don't see.
Oh, those were light mitts.
Those
Yeah,
were
those are
Oh,
right and left
yeah.
of fellowship.
No, he didn't put top tier mitts
Oh,
on him.
no.
Or he'd be
Oh,
dead.
he knows.
He'd be
Yeah.
fuck-
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not trying to kill the man. I'm just trying to hurt him a little bit. Make sure he doesn't fucking do it
Just trying to
anymore.
rattle him a little bit. You know?
Maybe next time he's on a
Just
plane,
shake
he'll
him
think
up.
a little bit.
Just-
You know? Maybe next time.
So real. But that is, man, that gives you instant PTSD, man. You can't ever forget that. You know, like, dude.
Hey, you remember that time
I-
Mike Tyson beat the fuck out of
You know
my
what I'm
face?
saying? I
being
get
an
freaked
asshole
out thinking
on a
about
plane.
playing, like, fighting Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's punch out.
Yeah,
Like, that was
really.
enough
I
for
know.
me.
8-bit Mike is already too much. Fuck that.
When he comes kicking up
No.
to you.
Mm-mm. Full realistic ray traced Mike. I can't deal with that. I can't.
Like, these physics are serious. These haptics, oh my God.
I can feel it.
No.
I'm getting rocked.
Oh man, just people, please respect people's boundaries.
Oh, my
That's
God.
it, man. God, that's the problem right now. Is that people just don't respect each other's boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants, once again, this TikTok culture. Everybody just wants that clout, man, and they're willing to do anything to get it.
Yeah, and some of these people go to such extreme lengths because they see something wild on the internet. And I mean, I think that there's so many things that even on basic prank levels are the kind of things that you're like, this is not cool.
Like people who launch
Like-
like 3-liter bottles of Mountain Dew across the grocery store and somebody
shit
else
like
clean
that.
shit.
Yeah, come
you're
on,
trash.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the licking the ice cream shit, or like all this kind of stuff. Yeah, people just do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
You know. Oh, and somebody's gonna like it on the internet.
Right.
I mean, I guess we're doing whatever the hell we want. So
I
people
mean,
will like it.
But we have.
But we're not hurting
We ain't
I was
anyone.
about
hurting
to-
anybody.
we're
not
You know what I'm
hurting
saying? We might hurt
nobody.
somebody's
Should we go?
feelings.
Should we go slap a famous person? Do you
Who would
think
it be?
that would bring
Yeah,
the
who
numbers
would
up?
your-
I
yeah.
mean, who would?
Three-player
I
mode
mean,
slap? Because we'd have to
Yeah.
do it like each
Yeah,
of our
yeah.
hands. We'd have to do it like right, you know. We'll train for weeks so we can time a slap in triple succession like this. But who would we slap? I'd slap Garth Brooks.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
He's crazy. He's fucking crazy.
yeah.
You know, I don't have a lot of celebrities I would care to slap because
Yeah,
in
for real.
my mind it's like, who the fuck are they anyway?
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of. I mean, there's people. It'd be that casual, that normal person that you interact with on a daily basis. Like, you know, one time we were over there and I'm cleaning plates. I told you about this last week.
Yeah.
This dude just sneezed behind
Oh,
me.
yeah.
While
Yeah. That
See,
guy.
That guy
That
would
guy.
get slapped. See, that's the kind of shit
Yeah.
I slap for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make a bad movie. I don't care.
How about
that. You
Vince
can say-
Vaughn? I hate that guy.
Vince Vaughn.
I like Vince Vaughn. I did. I mean, he plays himself. all
Yeah,
the time.
he's
That's all
he's
he
just
does.
himself, man. I think the reason I hate him though is because of Swingers.
Okay.
You know?
Because of his character.
Yes, but it's him. It's not a
I mean,
character.
but-
That's
but
just
the
Vince
same
Vaughn.
character he plays in every
But Swingers
movie.
is like the worst version of it. Like it's like,
Yeah, for real, dude. I mean, if you're gonna slap him, you might as
Yeah.
well slap Danny McBride.
I love Danny McBride.
See, see, I'm just saying. You know, some actors they just do their thing, man. And, you know,
You're
that,
right.
My,
You're
my-
right.
My boy Nick. I just don't know a lot of celebrities that I just like just make me seethe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. Damn it, I can't. I shouldn't say I slapped Jada. I would hire a female to
Oh,
slap
yeah.
Jada for me.
Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, Rhonda, can you do me
I
a
got
favor?
job for you. You know. I feel like Rhonda's already probably
Yeah.
thought about that.
I think she needs to be in more action movies. I really like
I
the
think so,
stuff
too.
she's done. But
Yeah.
anyway, we got way off topic.
Yeah. Let's pass this condoning of violence on celebrities.
Hey, man,
We weren't condoning it.
You
We
know, I'm
were
just
saying,
saying.
just thinking.
Just a thought
about
experiment.
Spitballing.
Hey,
That's all.
I'm so happy that the 3-stage slap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yes.
all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, I came
Yeah.
up with a good idea.
That's,
there.
that's phenomenal,
Yeah.
man.
Just have
I'm
to
with
figure
that.
out a good way to apply it. That's all.
A good target to apply it to.
Yeah, that's it.
So
What do you think it is?
this,
This shit's wild.
yeah,
It is.
Okay, so the entire movie, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie,
Which is a dope ass movie, by the way. I don't care what anybody says.
is being
I haven't seen it in
or
so
has
long. I don't
yeah.
remember anything.
well,
a great movie.
you can watch this version.
Yeah.
This is a version that's been reanimated by a bunch of YouTube
different
animators,
yes.
a bunch of them, to the point where it's constantly changing styles.
styles.
Yeah.
It's off-putting,
Yes.
but in a really interesting way.
Uh-huh.
Like I couldn't look away from it sometime. Like I'm like, okay, so now it's 3D. Okay, so now it's really bad animation.
Uh-huh.
So now it's really good animation.
Right.
So now it looks like anime.
Uh-huh.
So now it is just you know.
And it's voiced, they were trying to get the original voice cast, couldn't quite pull that one
the
off.
voice is
Yeah, they hit or miss.
right,
Yeah.
right. But
But
again,
it's a tribute.
It's yeah.
a
Knowing that
tribute.
it's not official and knowing that they tried their best with that kind of thing, they at least get in the ballpark. But
Mhm.
the animation's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It reminds me almost of like Monty Python.
Okay.
In a
yeah.
way,
okay.
and then Viacom got really upset about it. And so they actually ended up
Yeah,
pulling
totally.
the video down
Wow.
for almost 24 hours because they were just like, no, you just did the whole movie. You can't just take our IP like that. But because, they're not, monetizing
Using
the
any of
account.
it.
Not
Yeah, it's like they're not
monetizing,
actually-
it's
Yeah.
actually transformative,
Right.
kind of
And
thing. Yeah.
it's free.
It's
Right?
free,
And so it's not that they're trying to sell this thing or really make money off of it. It's just a fan project because of what's the name of the original creator of SpongeBob? He passed away.
I don't remember.
Is it like Timothy? Anyway, but yeah, it was more of a tribute to the creator of SpongeBob, and it's
Yeah.
more than Viacom's ever done. And so
Yeah.
they were just like, we just did this in loving memory, and that's all. And they're like, our bottom line. And I
This
think
doesn't affect you.
well, I mean, I think that's the whole thing. It's like an alternative method to watching the SpongeBob movie that might be more interesting for adult audiences. But the flip side of that they really have to consider is that means that all these people already love the SpongeBob movie, right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you're probably not
Not
going
like
to watch
they're
this
re-releasing
without,
it. Yeah.
without first having seen the SpongeBob movie, and you got all of our
Yeah.
money for that. What, like 12 years ago, 13 years ago?
Well, he reminded me that they just re-released the Bikini
Battle,
Bottom.
Yeah, Battle for Bikini Bottle.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
free.
Was it?
Wasn't that the last month's PlayStation?
I think so.
Oh,
game?
okay. Like
Yeah.
it was free on PlayStation.
On PlayStation
Okay.
Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was yeah.
I was
think-
like, that
or
was
it this
free.
month?
Which you might be able to get.
I think you still can. What's today's date?
Did
No,
I-
it's the 7th.
Did I add that to my library? I might have.
Ooh, I hope you did.
Well, for him. I'm not
Oh.
gonna play it.
Well, if it's added to your
If I can add it to my library, he'd be able to play it.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I just don't know if I
mean,
did or not. That's
Whatever.
all.
I might jump. If you did,
Yeah.
I might jump in on it for a little bit just to see what
Yeah.
it is. But I've never been that big of a SpongeBob fan, honestly.
I think
Yeah.
SpongeBob's better than I thought it was initially.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's
I mean,
one of
not
those
that it's
things.
not
it was that
good.
generation's Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, we
Yeah.
were a bit older than
Yeah.
the target market.
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
that, you know?
Absolutely, and that's really what it is. It's like it's not that it's not good, and it's
Yeah.
not that I'm not happy that people have found enjoyment with it. I just, it was never something
You're
that I really
seething
cared
because
about.
other people like it.
Fucking
Uh-huh.
goddamn,
It's like
why do you like
VeggieTales, man.
SpongeBob?
People love
Fuck
VeggieTales.
Patrick.
Fucking Patrick.
Dude, VeggieTales has always been cringe to me. Even when I was super small, I was just like, "This is so bad.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
weird,
so
man.
fucking bad."
Some people love it. You know,
Oh,
like
where
kids like
is
this
my
shit.
hairbrush?
See that?
See?
See what just happened?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and so, but yeah,
bad.
go check out the fan movie Rehydrated. It's
been
If you're a fan of
rehydrated.
it, I mean, for real, have your favorite beverages or your favorite recreational, whatever you like, and crank it up. I think it'll make you giggle.
Yeah, man. It's some of it reminded me of Xavier the
Oh
Fallen
yeah.
Angel.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. I
Wow.
haven't thought about that in forever.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like that level some of the time, but then
Yeah.
sometimes it's like really clean. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
check it out.
Yeah, Xavier was sick, man. It's like
Xavier
you're just
was-
getting hit by like quadruple entendres the whole
And he has that
the whole
snake
time.
hand.
That snake hand.
Dude. Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. So Dead or Alive? Right? You said there's no more Dead or Alive? Is that what you told me?
Hold on, man.
Right? You told me that, right?
Hey, man.
Didn't you tell me that?
Hey man, where the fuck did you find that picture?
The internet.
Oh my god.
I told you it worked,
That's-
Scott.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, I'm
the
gonna troll.
best.
I love it.
Oh
I
my
love it,
God,
dude. He's like
dude.
sitting there looking for the pictures. He's just like, I'm a troll Trey.
There it is. Oh, that's gold.
I mean, look, all I know is that to me, you look like you're lots of fun.
I love it. I love it so much, man. Oh my god. Oh shit. Yeah.
So no DOA 7.
God, completely derailed. I was over here I was ready to be all serious about it and shit.
worked.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, totally. God damn it, man. Yeah, okay. Okay, all right. So, Dead or Alive 7 was in development since, it's been in development since before the release of DOA 6, okay?
Yeah.
So they were working on DOA 6,
Yeah.
and then they started working on
That's fairly
DOA 7. Yeah,
Wow.
it happens a lot,
Fairly
especially
common,
with fighting game
yeah.
studios. But they started working on DOA 7, and DOA 6 came out, but didn't really perform well, right? And so due to that, the director, let me see what his name was, because he actually ended up having to step down. The original, oh yeah, Yohei Shinbori. He actually stepped down. He was the original director for the Dead or Alive series, and then we ended up having Hiroaki Morita, who took over his reins. Well, they've been working on the game. They've been working on DOA 7, and they have announced that they stopped production of the game. All right, and it's kind of a scary thing because. While this doesn't mean that they won't ever go back to it, it doesn't mean that they won't ever revisit it. It doesn't mean that they won't use these characters in crossovers
Right.
or different ways like that. But it might mean that it may be years before we see another entry in Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
You know? Because ever since Itagaki, left, it's kind of been on a decline, as far as, just those... Unfortunately, the thing that makes Dead or Alive most appealing for a lot of people is
They
The
kick high.
titties.
yeah, I mean, there we go.
They kick
There-
high.
I was right. I was gonna say the martial arts, but,
Oh, well.
but sure,
You know.
but sure. I
man.
mean, maybe that's a close second. And so,
Wait, there's fighting in this?
yeah, they just boob slap.
I mean, I always played
That's some
Hayabusa,
Keijo shit
so
right
there.
for me, I was
Oh wow,
I was
no,
all about
see,
that.
Yeah, you're over there trying to Izuna drop some girls off a
Wow.
rooftop.
I'm like,
You
you all
know?
die.
I've seen those anime,
yeah.
but yeah, man. And so like, ever since he left, while the technical aspects of the game have gotten better over time, the spectacle has kind of dialed down,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's kind of one of those main draws of Dead or Alive is just that spectacle and the
I also
boobs.
don't feel like they've tried to press the graphical fidelity edge like they used to.
Like they used to,
Because I
right.
mean, on the PS2, when you looked at Dead or Alive 2,
Oh, on
you're
the
like, how
Xbox,
the
on
fuck
the
is this
PS2,
dude?
on the- yeah, dude, DOA,
It looked so good. Or Ninja Gaiden.
DOA 4 was the same way. Ninja
Yeah.
Gaiden, like Team Ninja, they make some of the most beautiful video games of all time.
And now we have like Stranger of Paradise.
Right,
And we have this.
which is odd.
Do
Which is
you
very,
think
well?
that-
But that's not really just Team Ninja. That's
Right.
Team Ninja using SquareSoft's assets, and so it's not
Sure.
their engine.
But how
you
well
know?
did that sell?
What, Stranger of Paradise?
Mm-hmm.
Not very.
Not very.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the only successful franchise that they've had in a while is Neo.
Is Neo? Yes,
That's it.
Absolutely.
So I wonder if that's the biggest
now,
reason.
but you can't
about
forget
this.
how much money they make off of a Dead or Alive franchise,
Yeah.
right? Because when you
Yeah.
think about all their DLCs
Yeah.
and all the in the Japanese market, people were buying all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy.
Do they
'cause you
still
can
make
spill
money off 6?
DOA 5 last round, all of their DLC is still the same price. It's still it's still $14.99 per. Well, some of the characters are $6.99 My Shiranui, I think, was $14.99.
Yuck.
DOA 6 is the same way.
For
So none
one
of that,
character.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right? But that's a beautiful model, a booba. You know, because that's also a big problem, like for the company, is like they weren't able to release Extreme Beach Volleyball stateside or Extreme Beach Volleyball 2 stateside because people keep fucking their characters. They're just like, y'all need to, if y'all quit doing this, then we're gonna bring this content stateside, but y'all keep doing this terrible shit to our girls, man. And so they're like, we're not even going to release it over there. So it got to a point where that's really kind of...
They're embarrassed of their own fan base.
Right. Yeah, because they take these brilliantly designed models, because their models are amazing.
Oh, yeah, they're great. Yeah.
They're ridiculously good, and just super attractive, all of them, male and female both. And so, but you leave it to the R34 community... And boy, the second you put that thing on PC, I'm sorry.
Somebody's going to put their dick in it.
Yeah, a lot of somebodies, man. It's crazy.
Are any of the DOAs on PC?
DOA 5LR. I think DOA 5 came to PC. Is it?
Yeah, see,
now
I don't,
you're making
I don't
me
know,
second
man.
guess.
I don't really know.
Now you're making me second guess. I always played on console.
Yeah, because I know Neo's on PC, and then I know that they put, what's it called on there? The Ninja Gaiden Collection. But that's the only stuff I can even think of that's Team Ninja on PC.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a really... I would not put it on PC.
Yeah.
I would never. But I think Extreme Beach Volleyball did come out for PC, and that was a problem.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
But then again, I mean, people can emulate whatever, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
But the big problem with that though is that like when you have a console game, to get the models out of it, you have to like decompile it and then recompile the individual pieces of it. So it's like having a puzzle that's built in another language,
right? And
then breaking that puzzle down, translating it to your language, and then rebuilding the puzzle to even get like files off.
I mean, yeah, right. And that sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But then
people will still do it.
Yes.
People will still
right.
do it.
You know what I'm saying? To get Kasumi and Lisa out of there.
Yeah.
And Tina out of there.
Or they'll have a hacked console that they can export files from, so that you can do like that's another way to do it. Yeah. It's like, you ever seen those game break things where they go outside the boundaries of the games and stuff?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you either have to figure out some way to export the files and look through them, or you have to have a fucking hacked console to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And people will go to such extremes.
They will. They will. And I'm a huge fan of the Dead or Alive franchise.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of DOA since
4
DOA
was the
1.
last time I was into it.
4 was one of the best entries.
4 was great.
Yeah, 4 was amazing, man. And 5 was amazing, 5 LR. 6 was good, but it wasn't as good. It was a back step from Last Round.
That's crazy.
Last Round had like Virtual Fighter characters, and so you had all of them in there as well.
Dude, I've been wanting to play 6 because it's got Rachel in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's in 5 too.
She is?
Yeah, she's in 5 and 6.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And so, like, Robbie and I, Argoth and I actually did some DOA a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's
hell yeah.
why he was talking to me.
Yeah,
about
it was a lot of fun, man. And so, like, I love Dead or Alive. It's one of those games that isn't quite as it's not.
Spin you right around.
It's like the skill floor is so low for DOA.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Soul Cat. Well, actually, it's worse. It's just so easy to get into and play that anybody can have a good time.
I've
playing.
always thought the combos felt better in that than Tekken.
Oh, totally. Oh, yeah, they flow. Well, it's based on Virtual Fighter. The DOA 1 was made with the Virtual Fighter engine, and so that kind of set them on their course. But it's a lot more fast paced.
It's a fast Virtual Fighter.
But then you also have things like the interactions with all the crowds, right?
Yeah.
Like if there are crowds, you kick somebody into this dude in the crowd, he'll like push them back in.
Yeah.
They have their danger zones and shit.
Yeah.
You can like
knock people through walls.
Knock
and that
people
kind
through
of
walls,
stuff.
kick them
Knock
down
off
stairs.
Shit. I love the stairs.
Dude,
that's
that
so
Azuna
good.
drop when you like kick somebody up off of a waterfall.
Yeah.
Then teleport up, grab them, and Azuna drop them all the way down the waterfall to like the bottom of the. That is so hot. It's so hot, but they started getting away from that in 6, and those are the things that people really like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so. I really hope that they kind of reevaluate this, and then one day we will get a good DOA 7. But right now we may never see Soul Calibur again. Dead or Alive might go that same direction.
Damn.
And that's sad.
That sucks. Yeah. Because I've already been kind of given up on the idea that we get another Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We should theoretically, but we might not.
We might not, man. Yeah.
That's a true possibility. And it seems so ignorant.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Dead or Alive.
Dead or alive. Jesus.
So this is cool. Dying Light's giving everybody that owns a copy of it a free upgrade.
They put out their last expansion for Dying Light 1. And then they're also giving everybody who owns it a free upgrade to the Enhanced Edition, which gives you all the DLC.
All the DLC, yeah.
Cool.
Does that include a PS5 version of the game? Do they have a?
I have not seen a PS5 upgrade for it because I mean they had Dying Light 2 coming out right about that same window,
right?
And so it might be something that they revisit. However, Dying Light still holds up. Yeah, you know, Dying Light still looks very, very good.
And if it has an unlocked frame rate, then you just get the benefits anyway.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And then, I mean, they've even added story content that's set in like in a dark fantasy world and shit. Oh. And so this last DLC expands on that. And so, like, if
is
anybody,
that the Bozak Horde or whatever?
Yeah, that's Bozak Horde. And then what's the following?
Cuisine Cargo.
Cuisine Cargo. I don't know. I haven't played any of this stuff.
What it looks like it says.
I haven't played any of the stuff.
No, it says
cuisine. This is cuisine.
Cuisine. Yeah.
That's a C, bro. C-U-I. That's cuisine is not spelled with a Q.
I saw the C and said a Q in.
You did. Yeah. You did.
Right. It's all right. Q's look like C's.
I know it's a C. I knew it was a C. I have no idea why.
It's an incomplete Q.
That's right.
Hey, you fucked your Q up.
I think what you meant to do here was a little bit of a Q.
You forgot the thing.
Definitely
the swoop and the squiggle and
then the line.
And then the line. You need the line.
The line.
Yeah, and so it's just a cool little piece of information for people who, love some Dying Light. Go and check because you've got new content to play for free.
It makes me wonder how much a physical copy of Dying Light is.
Probably cheap.
Probably cheap as fuck,
probably
dude.
like $5 or $6.
Wow,
that'd be good.
Well,
to grab.
after something like this, sometimes those prices tend to go back up.
Yeah,
usually not at GameStop though.
Right. Well, yeah, for
they just sell out.
Yeah, totally. Well, I don't know. They'll go up because remember the same thing happened with No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah. Well, No Man's Sky re-released though.
Well, they added VR. That's what did it.
That is what did it.
Yeah, that's what did it. And so, so. Sometimes these things fluctuate, but probably not since Dying Light 2 is out and it's actually selling. So, yeah.
I might go try to find a copy because I never really played Dying Light. I touched it a bit, but I never really got into it.
It's hot. It's hot. Yeah. Also, since we're on the topic of sales and cool shit, Ghostwire.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that, but we had to go news jutsu. Yeah, it's on sale right now for $40. $51 for the deluxe edition, down from $79.99. And so, if you've been wanting to play Ghostwire, I threw some gang signs last night.
It looked pretty cool.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And this is a conversation that I also, just very briefly, that I wanted to have. Not every game has to be Grand Theft Auto. Not every game has to be the most environmentally interactive. Not every game has to be just like all about depth of mechanic. And some games just have to look good and play well and be fun.
Yeah.
Ghostwire, that's what is hitting for me. It's like, okay, here lately I've been like, I just want to play a game. I don't want to have to think about it too much. I don't want to have to sit here and spend hours upon hours upon hours on it. Like I just want to give me something cool. Ghostwire is just cool, man.
Yeah.
It's just cool. Like,
cool yokai.
Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The little girls without the heads.
Yeah.
Fuck that
and
shit.
And the way they come pirouetting up at you and everything.
Man.
There's all the dialogue is really kind of good, man. The little demon that possesses you and talks trash,
that's
the whole
funny.
time. It's like your nine-tailed fox in your body. It's like, dude, I mean, it's
and you
pretty
keep him in the fanny pack.
Oh,
of course.
He's
got the chest fanny pack.
Oh, nice.
that demonic fanny pack. And so it's
that was pretty cool. I really like the way the fingers look.
Oh,
like there's something about the way they're modeled and everything.
Also,
they just look so.
Also, just the light that just drips down the fingers all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, it's just
fucking looks great.
Style. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me some style.
Yeah, this game doesn't look great because it's cranked the graphics up to some extreme, like Unreal Engine 5 level of. No, it's just got a good style.
Right, it's doing its thing. It's like, here is our look, and it's so iconic. Like, if you ever see a scene from it, you'll know exactly what you're looking at immediately. Immediately, And then of course the gameplay itself is really kind of cool too.
How was the controls? Because it did look like the aiming's a little.
I had to just do some. I mean, they give you all of your dead zone control settings.
Yeah.
Of course, acceleration, all those different things. You just had to play with it.
Okay.
Coming from playing like a lot of VR mostly and other FPSs. The way I wanted the game to control isn't the way the game needs to control.
Yeah.
Because it's more Deus Ex than it is Call of Duty.
That's what I was gonna say. Like it seems like it had the cyberpunk kind of thing to it. You know?
And so if you try to play it like a Twitch game,
Yeah.
then you're gonna overcorrect, And so it's like you kind of I had to actually slow some things down to be honest with you. And then I felt like, okay, this is how I should be moving in this world.
You got to play it like an old school shooter where you move your body more than you're moving your reticle.
Right, exactly. You're not trying to 180, 360 no scope. You know what I'm saying? That's not the point of the game.
Yeah.
But it is dope as fuck. Those particles are popping, baby.
And I saw you blowing holes in ghosts.
Dude, it just made me so happy. It's just so fun, man. And so it'll be on stream. Be on the lookout because it's going down.
So Sifu update. This is actually the plan for the next year, I guess.
Roadmap?
Yeah, their roadmap. And we got the spring update already, so we got difficulty options, we got advanced training, we got outfit selection.
So they added 3 different outfits. We got our difficulties options, which are, rookie, normal, and master. Student, disciple, and master, which apparently these exist outside of the normal difficulty.
Yes.
And so then, so there's a normal game, and
there's
then
4 difficulties.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
So
Which
I mean,
wild,
add these difficulties.
Yeah.
Well, that way, if you've had a hard time playing this game because it is a difficult game, it's like, you can play through on the student.
I'm all
and
for more options.
Yeah, but they did not have any of this to start out with.
Right,
it was just the one difficulty
Absolutely.
level.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people were saying. Some people were clearing it and being like, "Oh yeah, this isn't hard enough for me."
Right.
And then other people are going, "How do you get past boss 2?"
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And they drop the game. They drop it. And they've also, the advanced training lets you practice against bosses as well.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes. Right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dude,
Oh.
I never saw that coming. I'm just like, okay, maybe they'll let you just set up.
Holy shit!
however
Are
many-
you kidding me?
Bro, you can practice against bosses.
No, that's game changing.
Yes, it is.
I might actually
It's
be
like,
able to get.
It's like, here's a
through this
game that
game.
wants you to get good at it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
dude.
because when this dropped, I downloaded the update. I started messing around with it a little bit, and then I was like, "Ooh, I am out of touch with this. I've put it down for too long." Because I was really on this game,
Yeah.
and then Elden Ring came out.
Yep, and you did nothing else.
Nothing else. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna beat this. I might actually stream this in a little bit.
Heard that?
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely worth it, man. God, Sifu's so
Thinking
good.
about it. Looks like they're
Sifu's so
doing a good camera mode here.
We're going to have our replay editor, which will be really lit.
Totally.
Because everything's so cinematic in this game anyway,
Because I think if they're doing an in-game replay editor, I bet you'll be able to move the camera around as the replay is playing, so that you can get cinematic shots and all that kind
Summer.
of shit.
Very bottom. What does it say?
Bullet time.
Bullet time.
What?
Boy.
Bro. What?
Whoa.
Dude, that summer update's about to hit hard.
Golden staff.
What is happening? Yeah. I'm really interested in seeing. What this
I
game
guess that's
becomes.
all the gameplay modifiers, huh?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Uh-huh.
Oh
Absolutely.
man.
Did you ever spend any time with it?
No, not really.
Okay.
I watched Phil play a
Yeah.
couple times.
Gotcha.
You streamed it a little bit. Yeah.
No, that's a streamable game right there, boy.
Really? Yeah. I'm gonna stream some later. I'm definitely doing that. Slow clap. Bad news.
Same as it ever was, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so this is coming from a source at Intel, saying that while we thought that our shortages on supply lines for consoles and graphics cards was going to be over by 2023, nope. They're saying that it's going to slip into 2024, and that's mostly because it's not only about the chips themselves. Now it's become a problem of the supply lines have kept people from getting the tools that they need to build these materials, right? So it's like, really, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
When you think about it, And so I think that 2023 was a hopeful speculation anyway. But yeah, and so. It's still gonna be hard to get a PS5, guys. I'm sorry, that's just what it is.
Well, so where is it that they're building a foundry here? Intel's building a a chip foundry
in Alabama.
No, in the United States.
Oh, I'm not certain.
There was some news a little bit ago about that, and I want to say that someone else is also trying to build another chip
In
foundry.
Ohio? Wait, no, this is Ohio. This is, let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, in Columbus, Ohio.
Is that where the new Intel chip factory is going to be?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that will definitely alleviate a bunch, but I mean, it's going to take a minute for them to get all that shit together.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to take years before that
years.
helps. But then once that does happen, there's going to be a lot less of chip importation
Right.
that'll happen. We'll be able to create all this shit in house. So, you know, in 2 years, a bunch of stuff will probably be plentiful.
Right.
You know, because there's no reason why Intel doing I mean they're making an initiative about this specifically because of these supply chain issues, and they don't want them to crop up in the future. So that means that they'll be using their foundries not only for their own chips but also for, you know, anybody else that wants to use them, I guess.
Right, for global distribution.
Probably other than AMD.
Yeah,
They'll let anybody else make a chip. Samsung, you need chips. LG, you need chips. That's no problem. Toyota, you need chips. AMD, fuck yourself. Import. That's what you get.
Yeah.
It's like, you're cool. Fuck you.
I'm right behind you, B.
Damn.
Wrap that gavel up,
Yeah.
B.
So,
But yeah, I mean, I have heard reports that you can actually walk into a Target and get an Xbox Series X now. Like, they're fairly easy to get.
Yeah.
But
Good luck on that 5, though.
yeah, good
Yeah.
luck on the 5, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah, I think that, you know, man, I mean, the truth is that Series X,
yeah.
there's another avenue to get those games.
Yeah,
so
right.
all of a sudden it
Yeah.
makes it where not everybody has to have one of those just to play that library. So that'll help the supply, you know, shortage issue. PS5, you have no other options. None whatsoever. And so every single one that hits the market is going to be snatched up. You know. Sad days. And so hopefully we'll still, like, you know, trying to remain hopeful about PSVR 2. There's a rumor going around that there might be a small scale release at the end of this year.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so it's theoretical, but they're like, you know, it may be just a very limited run of the first wave of PSVR 2s.
Well, hopefully
So
they
we'll
actually
see.
inform those who put in a request to get information about pre-orders.
They should.
Hopefully that happens in a
It's
I
going to
don't
be a
know.
mess.
No, it's gonna be
No,
a
yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
mess.
it's
I
gonna
was
be a
about to say, who do you
clusterfuck.
think you're talking about?
Right.
I mean,
like, we know exactly how this is going to go
Yeah.
down. So just
The day of, they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, yeah, it's happening now.
it's going to happen tomorrow.
I
Oh shit,
forgot.
they're already sold out.
Oh.
You know, like, that's what
Whoops.
happened last time.
they better start refreshing now.
I do think that that this
funny.
might be
That's-
this might be one of those things that like that isn't really scalped that much though. I kind of don't think that PSVR 2 is going to get the same scalping potential that the console itself.
It
will.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. But I mean, there's still that chance that people.
A handful
because-
of folks will.
Oh, yeah.
Right, right. But I think that truthfully, every PSVR 2 that they put out initially is going to sell.
Yeah.
Now, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
while we don't have the install base for PS5 that we should have, it's still a pretty significant install base. And so I think that a lot of people will still be, you know, clamoring, especially because they're doing so many different things with virtual reality.
Yeah.
You know, and they're really, this is like the next evolutionary step for VR.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm talking about generational leaps, you know, like, so there's a chance. I really don't know what to make of it. But I know that I'm just going to pre-order it the second it becomes available, and I'm not going to play with it.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
That's what you got to do. It's like I keep saying, I'm really thinking about going ahead and selling my PSVR right now, and maybe my Series X or Xbox One X rather,
Right.
and then just taking that money and setting it somewhere, being like, okay,
Yeah, dude. There's no
I'll
reason
have
to
it.
not.
Yeah.
There's really no reason to not. You know, PSVR is struggling right now. It's all but suffering right now. They're just kind of trying to keep VR in people's minds,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit, but it's not really being supported. There's not much more you can really do with that.
Yeah.
You know, being that you're limited by the Move controllers and such. So.
Well, hey, I gotta say something, man. There is this is kind of slight side note, but they finally well, Sony didn't, but someone made a driver package for the DualSense that actually works correctly with all the haptics. So you can do all the trigger functions, and you can do everything with it
So you can
now.
play Hitman?
I guess so, yeah.
'Cause that was always the problem with Hitman and a lot of those games, actually, is that you have to use a DualShock 3.
Yeah.
You have to actually use a DS fucking 3.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, maybe a DS4. Yeah, it'd be a DS4.
The 4, yeah.
You have to use, but if you don't have a
To do
DS4,
that.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Let
Uh-huh.
me choke you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Let me punch you.
Well, the way I'm thinking of it is once the, PSVR 2 comes out, this is just one more thing to make it work seamlessly with a PC.
Ah,
You know
yeah,
what I
there you
mean?
are. Yeah, you're still on that shit.
Man, it'd be dumb for them not to have
It
the support.
would not be dumb
it
for
is,
them. No,
it is,
would be
dude.
dumb for them to have that support.
I completely disagree.
That's
they're if they make
it's just
something
business, man.
dude, if they made something that's half the price of the Index and has all the same features plus some,
You're looking
plus
at it
it's
as a consumer.
I
From a
am.
business
Dude,
standpoint,
they'll
dude, they would
sell
never do it.
so many headsets doing it this way.
I mean,
they could
you might
dominate.
be
They
right.
could dominate the PC market.
But what
more
does
than
that
the
mean?
Quest.
What does that mean? That means that in order to you give Sony a little bit of your money, but you're also going to give Microsoft some of your money. Is that what you're saying? Sony doesn't even want to play video games with Microsoft. There's not
You
even
mean
a lot
'cause
of
of Windows?
cross-platform. Well, I mean, where else are you going to run this thing, right? Like, you're going to run it on your PC, which is probably going to be a Windows-based operating system, correct?
But that argument doesn't make sense because they're already releasing games on PC right
Old-ass
now.
games that they've already milked.
So
the money's already been made. This isn't their fresh new
but
shit.
they-
They want you to buy a PS5 and they want you to buy a PSVR 2.
They do.
want you to be
totally.
looped into their family, kind of like Apple style, in order to take advantage of their shit. They want to be like, okay,
who would benefit from that? Would Microsoft benefit from that? No. Steam would benefit from that, and Sony
would
is
benefit.
friends
no.
with.
But the
with
problem
Valve.
is Sony would benefit less. It's not that they wouldn't benefit; they would just benefit less.
I see what you're saying.
I think if PSVR 2s were going to be plentiful, then okay, that's one thing. That they're not. They're going to be they're going to be hard to get for a while.
I don't see in any world how making it work for the PC diminishes anything with the PS5 side of it. It would honestly prompt somebody that has a gaming PC and then buys one of the headsets to be like, well, there's all these PSVR 2 games that I don't have right now. I think I'm going to buy me a PlayStation 5.
Man, you're speaking about people who have thousands of dollars to throw at shit.
I am.
And that's not the majority of people.
Dude, people that are getting into VR understand this because I'm already talking about a headset that's obviously going to be less than what the big boy is on PC.
Right.
That'll have the majority of those features and potentially do them better. Right.
But the whole push is to make VR a household name, right? So
yeah,
by doing that means that your costs have to go lower.
I don't think your costs do have to go lower though. Even selling it because that's my point.
That's what's happening with Meta.
The Index is $1,000.
But I don't think anybody's really considering the Index outside of hardcore VR nerds.
That's
right?
my
and
whole
they are
point
not the
here.
majority. And we're talking about a subset of a subset.
Those are the people that would end up purchasing the headset to make it work on the PC.
But how many people is that? It's not that many. It's not that many people.
Sure, but there also isn't a lot of development. Like the OpenXR platform is something that works on every headset.
I'm not
this
saying that I don't want to see this kind of thing happen. I don't want this to be misconstrued. I'm saying that from a business standpoint, it's not smart out the gate. That's something that you implement maybe 3-4 years down the road.
Yeah.
But it's not something that when you initially bring forth a new bit of hardware to your already hard to get existing hardware, you don't put that in anybody else's hands. You don't put it immediately in the mod community's hands. You don't immediately give other people control over it. Now, I mean, mod community is going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
You can't stop it.
Yeah, that's
but you don't
actually
have to
my whole
sanction it.
point.
Because then you can go to the whole point of okay, well, once you start doing this shit, then you just voided your warranty. If something fucks up, it's on you. Fuck you. And so Sony as a company, man, they're cutthroat, baby. They want them dimes. They want 4.5s. They want all the 4.5s.
I see them selling more headsets that way. Than less.
Theoretically, but over time, I could totally see that. Initially out the gate, I don't think there's a possibility, but
I guess
we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, it'll end up being. I mean, come on, the Connect. Dude,
oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what it is. Mod community is going to take hold. So it is what it is. It's a conversation we can have all night, guys. Just
seriously. Yeah.
And we've had this talk so many
Yeah.
times. I love these boys.
So Square Enix. has sold off
a whole bunch of studios.
Whole bunch of studios, yeah. You got the list of everything because it's like Crystal Dynamics,
Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal. And so, I mean, we're
a lot of their Western developers.
It's a whole bunch of the Western. And it's funny because they just had that statement from the CEO a couple weeks ago.
Because when I saw that, I remembered that, and I was just like, well, that makes a lot of sense.
He's like, we don't have to really worry about the Western market so much, guys. Let's be really Japanese. That means he knew the plan was already, the deal was already in works, and we're about to sell off. And they sold all this shit off for $300 million, which is cheap.
That's cheap.
That is cheap.
And
this
for
is
the IPs that they're getting.
Legacy of Kain, Tomb Raider, dude.
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex. Well, I mean, but Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider,
Tomb Raider's the surprising one.
Right. You know, because that's going to make money. You know,
and has been making money.
Right, consistently. And so,
do we know who they sold them
to? What's the name of the company?
Embracer Group.
Yeah.
To Embracer Group. And so we'll see, you know, because there's a lot of, you know, with all these acquisitions going on, I was thinking like this would have been a smart move for Sony.
Yeah,
you know?
like
bring
especially
Lara
Tomb
Croft
Raider.
back home. You know, like you know, now
Yeah.
Lara's where she belongs.
And we got a new Unreal Engine 5 Soul Reaver coming out.
Right?
Okay.
I'd be with that life.
I know, man.
Oh my god! You know what? Honestly, no. I would want
Legacy of
Kain.
Oh yeah.
I want Legacy
like
of
Kain
Kain
more?
fully realized. Well, it's not really more. It's just that story.
That'd
is a lot
be a
darker.
wonderful game to
Right,
remake.
because it was top down. It was
Fuck,
like whatever.
dude,
Like, but,
no, you're right.
Yeah, give the full 3D treatment, and then let us run around draining the blood out of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Soul Reaver was really more of a Tomb Raider like than anything else, or Zelda.
But
more like Zelda.
It had that good combat though.
Yeah, oh no, Soul Reaver is amazing as a game, but it is just a completely different flavor from the original Legacy. Raziel, dude, love him when he pulls down his mask. You know what I'm saying? Just like sucks your soul in. Shit's so sick. But I can see why they wouldn't care so much about Legacy of Kain. You know, it doesn't. It does. It's not active. It's not relevant today.
People aren't even thinking about that shit.
Yeah.
You know,
but Deus Ex is fairly recent, and I think it did well enough.
It did very well.
Yeah. And Tomb Raider is crazy. Like that's
even with the movie licensing, and I mean that
last movie came out like 3 years ago, maybe.
I thought it was longer than that.
I thought it was about 3 years.
3, maybe 4,
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know.
But not
not
terribly
lockdown
long
time
ago.
fucks up my.
I
know.
It's
No
like,
idea.
Right. Where are we?
What are a year?
Right. Yeah, and so, but it's surprising that they just sold all that off for cheap. It's just like we don't even want to have to deal with that. Okay, it's like whatever you want to do, just give us some money real quick.
Yeah,
because we're gonna double down on Final Fantasy 14, and they did it really to double down on NFTs
and 16.
It's all about NFTs and blockchain. Like that's what they're doing, and that's the very disappointing part. Yeah, right. It's like because if you're willing to cut off all those IPs just so you can invest more into blockchain,
crazy.
It's like it's only a matter of time before Square Enix games are gonna be like flooded with NFTs and flooded with, gaming. What is it? Playing to earn.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
totally. Yeah,
and that's kind of scary.
Dude, I know it. That's one of the most dystopian concepts I can think of. It's just like games that playing them more earns you currency, so that you can just stay on the game all the time.
Right.
You know. That's
scary. And then the next step is metaverse, right? So just get people locked in. It's kind of wild.
Did you ever know anybody that would play like? Okay, I'll just put it this way. I had a friend that would play 4 World of Warcraft accounts at once.
I've known people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens when you have folks like that are doing basic shit on macros, but they have it all, on one computer, and they're doing fucking, and they're making $40 a day in whatever NFT.
The earliest adopters of all of this are going to make a lot of money.
They're going to make a shit ton of money, dude.
By finding
and then everybody else is going to be left holding the bag, because that's the way all it is.
There it goes. And it's really, really interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and loop this FTC Bungie thing into this, because it's really, you don't necessarily have to change the background unless you want to.
I'm going to do it.
Because, this is also an interesting situation. The Federal Trade Commission is now cracking down on these acquisitions ever since Microsoft acquired Activision. That was such a huge purchase that they're looking into that acquisition.
Make sure it's not monopoly.
Right, exactly. Because they're saying the same thing with PlayStation buying Bungie,
Yeah.
they're just like, okay, well, you're going to keep a lot of people from software that's making a lot of money, and so you're going to be the sole proprietor of this software, and then that's unfair to users,
man,
and that's fucking weird.
Well, this concept has come up in the past, where even the idea of, because I mean, when Epic attacked Apple,
yes,
some of this stuff started coming up where they're like, are console exclusives monopolies? Like, is there some kind of trade agreement that we're breaking just having this only being able to be sold on this specific piece of hardware,
right?
Because that's exclusive, and they don't like exclusivity.
They don't like it. They
Right.
don't like it. Isn't that funny, man? Because once upon a time, that was everything. That was like the whole foundation. That's the bedrock of the gaming industry, is having your exclusives. And now that the gaming industry is making so much money, governments are coming into play, and they're just like, oh, hold on now.
So that means everything's going to have to work on every console at some point, right? Which
Uh-huh.
brings me back to the PSVR 2 being on PC.
How long do you think it's going to take? How long do you think it's going to take?
Oh, that's going to take a long time for the government to catch up with a precedent that does something about this.
Dude,
that's going to take 5 years.
They're going to be like, okay, well, we need every Mario game on every platform, Nintendo.
But this really might be one of those situations now where, like, consoles are done. And everything's just a PC with a brand name on it.
That's a possibility as well.
Either
that, I think you'll see somebody's gonna maybe end up buying Nintendo. You might see acquisitions
Valve buys
of that
Nintendo.
way. Holy shit!
Jesus.
Wouldn't that be? I don't know if Valve would want it.
No, they wouldn't want it,
I don't
but
think
it
they'd
would
want
just
it.
be
It'd be hilarious.
insane.
Yeah, for real. It'd be like, yeah, I don't know what we want to do with. What are we gonna do with that? But I could see somebody like Microsoft or Sony being like, okay, well,
I could see Sony buying Nintendo. I
don't
think
think
that
I don't think Nintendo would sell to Microsoft.
they wouldn't sell to Microsoft.
Right.
They wouldn't even let them in the room. Hell no.
Fuck out of here.
Well, wasn't it like? Didn't they want? What was the IP like? Microsoft approached Nintendo about putting something on their console, and they didn't even fucking talk to them.
About putting like a
I don't
Nintendo
remember.
game,
Yeah, I don't remember which IP, but
I
it was
seem to
something.
remember something about that.
Yeah, and Nintendo
Was it a
didn't even.
rare?
They were like,
Was it a
no.
rare? It's like a rare title.
Yeah, man, that
You
makes
know,
sense to me.
doesn't
Like
it?
Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah, or
Back in the day?
GoldenEye or something that was like.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I mean, Microsoft's owned Rare for a while now.
Right, but they
Wow,
didn't
yeah.
own any of the stuff
didn't own
that
any of the
is
IP.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo related, right?
Right.
So any Nintendo developed Rare
They had
stuff
to do
was still-
ukulele.
right?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. They can't have the specific versions. They can't have any of that
Right.
shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Dude,
But-
look, our industry is changing, and it's happening at a rapid rate.
but if a precedent gets set that this kind of stuff is monopolizing, then I mean, like
you're right.
yeah. We're not going to have consoles anymore. There will be no need to have that. Or a console will just be a pre-built PC that has somebody's name on it.
Which we're damn near almost there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild shit.
It is getting weird over here.
So I got back up.
Go back.
The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is now in the Video Game Hall of Fame.
Took
And it's
long
like,
enough.
how-
Yeah, for real. Took long
How
enough.
I didn't.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what
like, that's
when I
news?
read
Hey,
this, I
and-
was just like, this hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
hold on.
Right.
Hold on.
GTA 3 is in there.
And
Yeah.
what? And
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Ocarina
how?
just got in?
Just got in.
How?
Man,
Maybe because they were hating on the N64 the whole time.
They
It
were.
was like,
You know what else I read? And this one was strange to me. That
Nobody.
Eminem is now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
uh-huh.
I was like, no shade on him, but at the same time, I'm like, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That's where you put it?
Well,
Okay,
I
just
I think you got to remember what
that's
these
a-
Hall of Fames actually
they don't.
are.
It's just a. It's
who's
yeah.
giving these
right.
awards. You
It's
know?
fucking
Yeah.
man, out of
It's like,
touch.
well,
people.
he's one of
That's
ours,
what-
and so we're gonna claim this one.
Well,
The racial draft.
Wow.
I've always wanted to say this for shizzle.
for shizzle. God, that's so good. I loved Mos Def in that sketch. Dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah.
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
on Zelda.
I love Ocarina.
Yeah.
Ocarina's still a good game.
I'm glad it got there. You know, I think Ocarina is creepier than a lot of people realize.
What's your favorite Zelda, guys?
Oh, Link to the Past.
Boom.
Yeah. You mean the
Easily.
best Zelda?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's.
You know, Argoth just played it for the first time. Just actually played through it for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, we were having a conversation
That's
about it the other day. I feel
Oh.
I'm so happy
It's
for
the
him.
first time he played it.
Played through it. He said that.
Oh
I think
my
he said he
God.
played it before, but he
yeah.
and his lady actually played through it.
Man,
Awesome.
dude.
And he's like, "This game is insane."
A
I'm
Link to
just
the
like,
Past is
Link to
so
the Past
good.
is the one, man.
Yeah,
Good.
man.
And
It is
A
the
Link Between Worlds was pretty solid as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
I
that.
was an Oracle of Ages seasons. Like,
Oh, yeah.
those
yeah.
two.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
And I
Link's
still-
Awakening, man.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say Link's
absolutely.
Awakening. Did
Yeah.
you ever play the redone one?
I have the redone one.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
solid?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Fine.
That's because that's where the owl came from.
right.
Yeah.
From Ocarina.
Mhm.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and I just had to put this iconic box on here, man. It was just one of those that
That's a good
Mhm.
box.
you get the gold cartridge.
Mhm.
Uh huh.
Mm.
Yeah. That was it's a different time. I miss cartridges.
Those were the days.
I miss instruction manuals, man.
I miss instruction.
God, I
manuals.
miss
Yeah.
manuals.
You know, I was
so
listening
much.
to somebody that was talking about releasing music nowadays, right?
Mm,
okay.
And they were saying specifically about how bands think that they can rely on having a little shitty sleeve that they sell at the concerts. You know what I mean? You have a
Mhm.
little shitty sleeve that's got a print on it and that kind of thing. And he's like,
Yeah.
that doesn't really hit a mark anymore. Like, that's good for
No.
a demo. That's good for getting yourself out there.
Right.
But if you're actually trying to sell a product, put something in there. He was like, put a poster in there, make it come with a T-shirt, do
Right.
something to make sure that your package actually has more than just a box.
Especially
Yeah.
considering that most
You
people
know?
don't even want that physical media
No.
nowadays. you
No,
know
so
what I'm
give them a
saying?
reason to buy the physical
Right.
media.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just to have a disc laying around. You know,
Right.
because I mean, fuck, most people don't even have disc drives on their computers anymore.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. The Proto Men did an album called The Cover Up.
Oh yeah.
And what they did was, if you bought the Cover Up album, so you got access to, of course, all the MP3s and everything, but they also sent you a cassette tape.
Yeah. See,
You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
Like, knowing that most people aren't going to be able to play it,
Uh-uh.
you're not going to open it, but
Yeah.
it's just a cool piece of memorabilia to
dude,
have.
I saw
Hell
a
yeah.
vaporwave band that released their album on Edison cylinder cartridges.
What?
Yes, so nobody has that shit. Nobody has that shit.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
But,
great.
I mean, but it's memorable, right?
It's- yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you
yeah,
never forget about
that's
it.
a collector's item.
Yeah,
right there.
boy. Yeah, that's wild, man.
Wild shit.
That is wild shit.
Yeah. So
gold
who
wheel on
wants
my chain.
who wants the
Gold we on my chain.
Who wants
the, it's the Queen's gold we on your chain too?
So THQ,
Yeah.
of all fucking people, designed a gold, 24 karat gold Wii
Yep.
for the Queen of England.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it was part of a publicity stunt back when they were actually making money, and their, business went under because of publicity stunts.
Stunts, yeah.
Weren't making them any money.
I mean, you know why it's THQ? It's because the Queen loves Darksiders.
All right.
I don't know if you guys realize just how much the Queen fucking loves Darksiders.
Yeah, man. And so it was just something that they made, and now it's actually up for sale on eBay for $300,000.
300,000.
300K. So for 300K, you can be the owner of a gold Wii that you can put on your chain.
Put that Wii on your chain.
Bruh.
Would you wear the whole Wii?
Yeah.
Like would you use
I
the
wear the Wiimote.
nunchucks
I would-
as the chain?
I would just wear the Wiimote.
Just the Wiimote?
I don't want
No.
the Wiimote.
I want the whole Wii.
Well,
I want
I
the
just don't want
big-
it to be out and about.
I'd rather have a gold GameCube.
Now
True.
I'd wear
Yeah.
that.
There you go.
Getting that
Oh
gold
my
GameCube.
god, dude! Can we talk about how beautiful of a console aesthetically the Cube was?
Oh, the cube's
Oh, hell yeah.
amazing.
The Cube
Yeah.
was so
Right,
cool.
it had a
man.
handle.
Yeah.
You could use it as boxing gloves.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah,
absolutely.
too. Yeah.
absolutely.
Fisticuffs.
Well, yeah, dude. It's like somebody comes over to your house and they carrying that cube. It's like,
That's
oh,
it.
it's a good time in your
Yeah.
hands. You know,
You put all the cables in the backpack and then you
Yeah.
can carry your cube.
carry the cube,
Yeah.
man. It's like God.
Mine's Spice.
I did have a silver one. You know, I
Right.
loved
Yeah.
it, man. And so, yeah,
I think Master P is going to buy this.
I would say Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy's
Yeah.
gonna
Soldier
buy
Boy,
it.
no, Soldier Boy, but like I was the first one to make a gold Wii U, and I've had it for the past 75 years. Like, damn, Soldier, even though half the time, man, he's talking this shit. Half the time he's kind of right though, and it's
yeah.
very unfortunate.
Uh-huh.
You
Doesn't
know?
that suck?
Yeah, it's just like fuck,
Even a
he's telling the
broken
truth.
clock, right?
Right? Twice a day, bro.
Twice a day.
Twice a day. So yeah, get a gold Wii on your chain, Scott.
Yeah,
Oh, I can't afford that.
I see a scratch.
I see
Yeah, I was about to
smudges.
say, that
Those are
shit-
some shit pictures.
That ain't pristine.
Do you think she threw it into a gold television?
Oh, almost
Probably.
definitely.
Playing Wii Bowling?
Wii Bowling, you know?
Because that's the only thing that's ever been played on this is fucking Wii Sports.
Uh-huh.
They didn't even look at nothing else, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that thing weighs.
I also wonder if this helps with heat dissipation. You know what I mean? Because
Theoretically, it
gold is
should.
a really good conductor.
Yes, it is.
So maybe this is like the best running Wii on the planet. That's the thing. We all think it's a joke. No, this is functional. It's like a McLaren. It's like
Jesus,
Damn.
man. Oh God.
Anyway.
Yeah. Whoop whoop.
Well, speaking of what the fuck is going on here?
Dude, this
I
show
don't
is blowing
understand.
the fuck up,
Yeah.
and now they're going to be having a live action, like live on stage musical in Japan next year, starting in March, and I really hope it comes stateside.
What?
I really hope.
great.
I don't even know.
Where's
I mean,
my
don't get me
Naruto
wrong,
musical?
There's some bomb ass music in this, but none of them sing. And I'm just like, I mean, look at Yor right there, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna have that outfit on stage?
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah. There's really nothing else to say about this other than this is a thing that's happening.
What's up, dude? You look shocked.
I just want to know how many. Because okay, for them to do this, that means it has to be just like this. Is
The
what,
manga's been blowing up for
Well,
years.
no. I'm trying to say how many of these animes and manga have been turned into musicals.
Yeah, probably a lot more.
I didn't even
than-
think about
Naruto,
that. There is a Naruto
MHA
one?
has one. Sailor Moon has
Yeah,
one.
so I knew about
Death
Sailor
Note
Moon
has one. Saint Seiya has
Oh, boy.
one.
It's a
Pokemon
lot.
has one.
Oh, yeah.
Beastars has one. Hunter x Hunter, of course it
Of course,
does.
yeah.
Bleach has one.
Yep.
Black Butler has. What?
Hey, man.
Man,
That's
what
so
the fuck?
much
The
cooler than
Japanese
Disney on
real-
Ice.
Yeah, I
What the
know.
fuck? Yeah,
Right?
seriously.
You know?
Man, Disney on Ice.
Japan loves musicals, man, and they'll make
Yeah.
musicals out of anything.
I didn't
Wow,
know.
I
I
never
love it.
thought about it.
Yeah.
You know, like really.
Bible
okay.
Black, the musical.
Bible
Right.
Black.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, no.
Oh shit! No, I was trying to think about Made in Abyss, the musical.
Ooh.
All right.
That-
So,
we'll get into it.
as
We'll get
a
into
matter of fact, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. So Stargate AI, this is just weird.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious. Did
Yeah.
you read some of the
Yes.
shit from the first one? I
Yes.
didn't know about this at all until today. And then I started reading the first event that they did, and it's like about the
something about a cake.
Egyptian cake and like.
oh no, I don't know
like,
the story.
Well, it's all random shit.
Right,
Because
it's written by an AI.
written by an AI.
Yeah, but this is like an entire Stargate movie that's written by an AI.
Wow.
And so
I'm
they're
pretty sure
doing
this is the
they're
second
on-
one though.
Okay.
Yeah, because the stuff I was reading is from the first time.
I thought that they were saying that this was like the first time ever that it was 100% written by an AI.
Oh, okay.
So I
So
think-
maybe they improved on the
Yes.
algorithm or whatever,
Right,
Because they
because-
probably had to just take ideas. I bet it was like what am I saying? Where you fill the words in. What's that?
Oh,
called?
Mad
Mad
Lib.
Lib?
It's like a Mad
Mad
Lib, but
Lib.
you let the AI Mad Lib it, right?
Yeah, but this is
Like-
like actually 100% written, and then they're
all
all
of it
doing
now.
all the
Yeah.
original actors are
Yeah.
doing a Zoom call, and they're
Like
doing a
table
Zoom
read.
reading,
Yeah,
table
table
reading
read kind of
of the
thing.
whole thing. And so this is going to come out. What is it? Towards the end of this month, I think.
Oh, I'm not sure.
And yeah, and you can watch it for free.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, you can hear them read through the script that was written by an AI.
That shit.
Computers
is
are writing shit now.
That's weird. You
That's
know,
so good.
it's good. It's so
That's
good.
funny.
You know, so I'm with it, dude. I was never really the biggest Stargate fan. You know,
I mean,
watched
I
a
love-
little
I
SG-1.
love the movie.
I
yeah,
love the
absolutely.
movie. I
Right.
never
yeah.
really watched like what is it, SG-1,
SG-1.
or
Yeah,
Atlantis
Atlantis,
or anything.
yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
like watch it every once in a while because my brother would have it on. But it, like,
Well, like what's his name? Kratos, dude. What's his name?
The voice
Pardon?
actor.
Yeah, the big motherfucker. Yeah, with the squiggle on his forehead.
Uh-huh.
he's a Guald or whatever. Yeah, I can't think of the dude's name.
No, I'm not super familiar with a lot of Stargate.
You've seen the movie
Like,
though, right?
Maybe.
Dude, maybe we should watch Stargate. Like the
Hey,
movie's good.
the
like
movie
that's
is
a.
good.
I think
It's-
yeah.
that's a
I
hot
think that
one.
I did see
Yeah.
it. I think it was just so long ago.
I mean, it's Egypt in space, dude.
right.
Mm.
Yeah, It's like,
Yeah.
guess what? That's where they came from. A fucking portal.
I wonder how dated that movie is now.
I was watching this thing about
I've seen
like
it not too long ago. It still mostly
holds
holds up.
up,
It holds
yeah.
up as much as like Independence Day.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
dude.
I got
I was watching this thing about pyramids where somebody was like, they were memeing. And they're just like, how come, everybody's like these great mysteries in Egypt of who built these pyramids? Clearly it was slaves, but, it's like, everybody's like, oh, it's aliens, it's all this crazy shit. He's like, but there are also pyramids in Mexico.
Right.
Ain't nobody asking how that shit got built. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody.
Yeah.
Oh, like, that's so fucking funny.
That's
Like, we know exactly. I mean, y'all worked on that.
right.
This just cracks me up, man. It's so funny.
Man.
Yeah.
I also think it's funny. I've heard some people recently, just on the Egypt thing, that have talked about how there's a strong possibility that it was poured like concrete.
Oh,
That's why they were like, that's why it's so perfect. They were just poured. We've
Right.
just been thinking about it the wrong fucking way. They just methodically poured all these cubes.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of awesome.
Just
Could
use
be.
a little math, man.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is math. It's okay. It's not that hard.
They were way better back then.
Oh yeah, they had time.
Yep. And abacuses.
Oh yeah.
I rock the abacus.
I used to
over
love
here.
those things.
I know, they're
don't care.
cool.
They're a
They
lot of
were
fun. Yeah.
But how often were you really counting with it?
You
were
when
just
I was a
jamming
kid,
on it? You
No,
were
when I was
just
a
jamming
kid, I
on it?
would.
You would
I mean,
count with?
Yeah, we count with it, manipulate numbers because it's like you can manipulate large numbers
Yeah.
with that thing very, very
Well,
easily.
I'm pretty sure it's in China. They still train kids
Mhm.
to use an abacus, and they fucking rock it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can add up crazy sums super quickly.
Yeah.
I never got to
and
that
then it
point.
also helps teach math in a very physical way.
Right, which
Right.
binds
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can visualize it, and so like,
Mhm.
God, dude, we're getting away from so many beneficial tools.
Man, you can just Google it. Why the fuck would you
Right,
do
for
math?
real. But I've got my phone.
I could just.
Oh shit!
I don't even have to push the buttons. I can tell it what to do. So now our topic:
this is gonna be a weird one to
made
approach.
in abyss.
Get your heart insurance ready. Hope you guys have
I
heart
hope you have heart insurance.
Man, heart insurance, dude. Heart insurance sounds like what's that song that Don Johnson made? It makes me the heartbeat. I'm looking for a heartbeat.
Oh, okay. All
Remember
right.
that one?
I was sitting here thinking about sexual
Oh, damn.
healing,
yeah.
baby.
Ooh.
It's good for me.
Yeah, no, it's way better than what I was thinking. I was thinking of a terrible song. Yeah.
So
this is technically my pick.
Yes.
Is it?
Because I
I was gonna let this be mine.
No,
Let this be.
What do you
See,
mean?
hold on.
Scott, you might get 2 picks this month.
Oh, right. Well,
because like I don't have anything to pick.
Okay.
This is the most recent anime that I've watched that's done enough to me to feel like we gotta talk.
We
gotta
talk about this.
So for me, it's an obvious choice.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not just
Well-
talking about the series and the movie.
And the movie.
Uh,
Yeah, and there's a second season coming out next month. I
Which
don't know.
we'll
They got some
definitely be
previews
watching.
on. I was watching that shit.
Well,
last
and
night.
I hope you didn't misunderstand when I sent that message saying I don't wanna.
Oh.
Oh no!
because
It's,
it meant.
it's like when I look at a boss door
Oh,
in
yeah.
Elden Ring. I'm like, I don't want.
Oh, yeah. It was that.
I wanna,
it was,
but I don't
It was
wanna.
really double entendre, right? Because
Yeah.
it's that, but it's also like I don't want to watch that trailer. I
Right.
started watching the trailer and I got like maybe halfway into it, and I was like, nope.
Nope.
Nah,
I'm good.
Save,
I'm good.
Hey,
I just
save
like,
it.
Yeah,
Save it.
yeah. That's where I am,
No, I
dude. It's
understand.
like,
I get you.
oh, dude.
I just couldn't help it.
How are we gonna
need-
have this
I
conversation?
need more. Of
Yeah,
this in
I
my
don't
life.
know how to talk about
Dude,
this because we can't
okay.
beat for beat it.
So
we really can't.
I'll straight up tell you guys, this is probably gonna be the most biased thing that I ever, because I can't say a single bad thing about this.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
I
I
really
guess,
can't.
I guess, warning, spoiler cast.
Yeah,
There's
warning.
no
Yeah.
other way about this.
So I guess what had happened.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like,
What
how do you
What
had
had
have
happened?
There's a big ass hole in the middle of a
kids-
town.
Yeah, big ass hole in middle of a town. Orphan children raised to go into hole to figure out hole's mysteries. Little precocious girl wants to find mother who may exist at bottom of said hole, and
Awful shit ensues.
takes and tears
Tears.
and heartbreak.
This is an emotional roller coaster,
Yeah.
man, for real. Like, this is one of those shows that I've seen like multiple times.
Yeah.
And it hits me. All the big hard hitting moments hit me just as hard, if not harder.
I don't think I want
Like-
to see that transformation again. I watched it a couple of times, and it's like, yeah, I think that might be the single most horrific thing that I've ever seen in media. And I'm desensitized as fuck.
It holds
you
your
know?
eyes open, dude.
Oh yeah, and it's like, and you see it coming, and it's like, oh shit, it's gonna get bad.
It's-
and then it's like, oh no, it gets
Oh,
way
it
worse
gets
than
so
the bad that I
bad.
was imagining.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just put it right in your face.
Man, I think the first time that happened to me, again, we're in the spoiler cast here.
Yeah.
Is when what's her name?
By the way, if you don't want to get
Rico.
spoiled, just
Rico.
turn the Rico.
Rico,
If you don't,
yeah,
just turn
yeah.
down the
When
volume and go
Rico-
correct your life and
Yes.
actually go watch the show.
That's right.
Yeah, you'd be
when we come
amazed how
back.
many people don't know about Made in Abyss.
But
Dude,
but
it's
when
surprising.
Rico
That's why I want to talk about it.
when
Hey,
Rico's arm is swelling up,
Dude.
Oh yeah.
and
And
then
he's got to take Blaze Reap and try to. Well, is that no? He
No.
takes a knife.
he
No.
takes
He takes
Because-
a rock. He breaks her arm.
that's it.
So-
and he's trying to break her fucking arm
'Cause
off.
she's,
Look.
I mean, she agrees.
And
She's like,
like,
"This is what we
they
need to do."
tie that shit off, and then they start trying to
there's-
break her arm
So
off.
there's
with-
a point where there's a monster in the abyss called an orb piercer that has it's like a porcupine with a weird face.
Yep.
And it has its like, what are those called? The spikes. Or
Should
whatever.
we not try to talk in chronological order? Because this
Well, I
is gonna
mean,
be,
this
it's
is
gonna be, it's
already
gonna be a
not
mess.
chronological.
Yeah, we really
Yeah.
can't.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we can. We can start with Rico. Okay, there are the Tears of Whistles. That
Okay.
needs to be discussed.
Okay.
Right. So you start off, and basically what happens is in this town was built around this abyss. Okay, this big ass crater in the ground. Nobody knows why it's there. It's fucking huge. But people go down into the crater and find relics. They bring them back up, sell them. They have value. Use them for energy or for trinkets, whatever. And so what ends up happening, though, due to the fact that so many people come into the town to find their riches, some of them find their riches, some of them die. But there's an exorbitant amount of orphans left, from the people
Because
who
of it,
either
yeah.
left or died in the abyss. And so they keep building this town around the abyss itself where people are diving into. So the town gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's a ton of orphans. And so they basically glamorize going into the abyss to these children.
Oh, it's propaganda. Yeah,
It's total
absolutely.
propaganda,
Yeah.
right? And so as children, they're looking up to these what they call cave raiders, right?
Yeah.
So the raiders actually wear different whistles to show their rank, right? So you start off, you're a red whistle. So you have your little red whistle,
Little
hanging
red
around your neck,
whistle, and you're, you know,
so excited about it.
It's
You
like,
guys
ooh,
are,
boy, I get to go down to I'm going to be in the 500-meter group next
And
time.
it's got
Exactly.
like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts vibes to it.
Kind of
like,
a little
Kind
bit.
of.
Like at the
Yeah.
beginning, you're like, oh, hopeful
Yeah.
kids learning how to do something cool.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like, helping out the community. This is what
Yeah.
we do. You go down there and bring back some money. So
Right.
we can
Yeah,
get some
and don't
food.
keep any
And
of
don't
it.
keep
Right.
any of
Don't
it.
keep
That's
any
right. We'll
of
string
it.
you up.
Dude.
Oh God, we're gonna get to that. But
Yeah.
okay, so now the thing about the abyss that you start to learn over time is that the further you go down into the abyss, the more negative effects it impacts
Yeah,
upon
the
your
harder
body.
it is to go back up.
And
Yeah.
so, as a red
You get the
whistle, that's the
bends.
thing. You're not supposed to go down super far.
Yeah.
If you're a blue whistle, purple whistle, onto I think is there one more before
There's
black
a blue,
and then
there's
white.
there's blue, there's purple.
Uh-huh.
There's another whistle that I don't mention that's in the manga, but that's probably going to get brought up in season 2.
And then black and white.
And then black and white.
Yeah.
Right.
White is you've made it to the
Right.
bottom,
So
and you've
white-
probably lost your
Well,
humanity
what
at that
they
point.
what they say about white whistles is just that they are the most elite of all cave raiders.
Yeah.
They really don't tell you a lot about white whistles. You
No.
learn about white
Yo, you
whistles
learn.
as you watch the show.
Yeah.
Because one thing that's being presented as like, hey, these guys are the paragons. Oh my
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
they're the ones that you want to. All
They
these
make
little
them sound like
kids
superheroes.
Want to be
Yeah.
exactly. They all
Absolutely.
want to. They all aspire to be a white whistle one day. Even though nobody understands what being a white whistle actually means.
Yeah, well,
Dude.
they talk about it like, so like when they get messages from the abyss, if it's not from a white whistle, they just discard it as
Right.
whatever. But if it's from a white whistle, they basically consider it truth.
Right.
Because they're constantly sending like balloons and shit up with like messages and like,
Right.
hey, this is what I've encountered, blah blah blah.
And
blah.
because they've made it further than everyone else. And so Rico, her mother was a white or is a white whistle.
Yeah.
She's not aware of where
don't
her
know.
mother is.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Liza
And
the
so-
Annihilator. God, I love these
Dude, my God, dude. And so, dude, too hype.
I
And so, yeah, we're getting this scoop. Let's bring the people with us.
I'm bringing.
Yeah.
Let's
come
bring them with
us,
us,
come
okay?
us,
And
okay.
so,
and she only has like vague memories of her mother.
right,
Yeah.
she has
Yeah.
very vague
Because she
memories
did
of her
her last
mom.
dive when she was like what 3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and so, but she wants to go down into the abyss. She wants to be a cave raider. She wants to be a white whistle like her mother.
Yeah.
And she really believes that her mom's down there, and she wants to find her, et cetera, et cetera. So she ends up going down. Of course, once again, this is one of those protagonists that just you can't say no to, baby.
No.
She's going. She's gonna
She
do
gonna
her
go.
shit.
Yeah.
And so she went down. She ends up actually finding an android boy.
Yep.
Right. And so she brings
Reg.
him back. She names him Reg.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but she
Stick
brings
in
him
his
back.
butt.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
does.
It's like, well, okay,
Put
so
a
she
stick
goes
in
down there. She goes down there. She gets attacked by these creatures, and she's about to get killed. All of a sudden, this giant bolt of energy comes through, kills the creature, and melts all the trees.
Melts the trees.
Melts all the
Doesn't
trees.
burn them.
Right.
It melts them.
Yes, yes. And so she finds where, you know, the person she went down with, they were already injured.
Old
and she
Nate.
finds old Nate. And she finds the android boy there as well, and he is out of commission.
Yeah.
So they take him back up to the village with them and have to hide him from, you know, the leader of the group and everybody else, because technically he's a relic.
Yeah.
Comes to find out he is like a robot, and she was experimenting on him.
Yeah,
you know,
she
while
was
he
just
was
trying to
knocked
poke
out.
and prod, trying to figure out what makes him tick without any regard to his comfort whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, just like, well, you know, I electrocuted him, and then, you know, I stuck
something up his butt.
Stuck the stick up his butt, but it broke off. So,
right?
you know, just kind of reading these fucking, like, Cliff's notes about him, like, while he's sitting there.
She's like,
and
yeah,
Reg
his,
is freaking
yeah, and it's like,
out.
and they keep, they always make a little nod to his dick. It's like, oh yeah, and his penis is totally normal, like a normal boy's penis. And he's like, wait, what? You know, he didn't even know about it. He looked down. He's
Yeah.
like,
He's like, what?
yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, man, is like she really only sees him as and really only cares about him as a relic,
Yeah.
not a person.
Not a person.
Yeah,
Right.
she's-
At that point.
he's her
Yeah.
friend, and like, but
Well, he's
like,
just he's
yeah.
just something that's really, really cool.
Yeah,
and
he's
for
cool.
her, it's basically validation that she found the most valuable thing in the abyss.
Yeah,
because that's the
totally.
thing. Whoever
Yeah.
gets the most valuable is more likely to join a group that can go deeper.
Right.
And so she's
Yeah.
got it, but she can't turn it in.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's just for her. It's a personal victory. So she's like, okay, well, I have you, and you've got retractable arms and shit. You know, he's got grapple arms. He's got like hand
Laser,
cannons.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? They name Incinerator just
Yeah.
for future reference.
Yeah,
Even though Incinerator, he has. It takes away from his life.
That's his
energy.
overdrive
We'll talk
right
about it. It's
there.
an overdrive. You know, if
That shit
if you use it, it's gonna shut you down for 2 hours,
yeah,
right?
man.
Yeah.
And so
you really don't find out about it, like there being a hard set limit about
until
that.
until way later.
Until
way later. You know,
yeah.
just getting that part out of the way.
Right.
Because then they decide, or she decides that. Well, I'm sorry. A white whistle comes back up from the abyss, and he's carrying with
yeah.
him her mother's
Well, that's,
white whistle.
Yeah, that's Hodo. He's Black Whistle.
Oh, he's Black
Yeah,
Whistle.
he's
Yeah,
Black
so it's
Whistle.
Hodo. Yes. And so he ends up, you know, giving her the whistle, saying that this, you know, came from your mother. This is for you.
Oh, and there's
he
a
also has a
message.
message as
Yeah.
well, which Rico, you know, she is very imaginative. She automatically imagines that it came from her mom and that it was for her, and she was being summoned down to the bottom of the abyss. So she makes a plan with Reg, like, hey, we're going down there. And that's where our tale really begins.
Yeah, and Nate, her friend, who's been like her
poor
friend.
guy.
Dude, he's so sad when she
Dude,
leaves.
and
that's the
yeah,
thing is like
dude.
he blows up at her when
Uh-huh.
she even suggests going
Yeah.
Because they
down.
can't. But they're so
Yeah.
young that they can't explain exactly what it is that's
Oh, yeah,
frustrating.
absolutely.
You know, because all he just didn't want to lose his friends.
That's
That's
all it
it.
is.
That's
he
all.
just didn't want to lose his friend. And that's it.
And she thinks that, you know, he's against them and all this kind of stuff.
He's
and
being
it's
a
like,
jerk.
yeah, right. You know, like no,
So,
just,
no,
He's
man,
just scared for you.
He's
Yeah.
scared for you. You should be. She should actually be just as scared.
right, exactly.
But
she's
she
not.
has no fear. About
None.
this shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
She does not know what's good for her throughout the whole thing. She does
No.
not know what's good for her, dude.
She's very
She is-
capable.
She's super capable.
But she's
absolutely.
Just, she can't help but like really. She's
Her
so
curiosity
obsessed with
is
her-
everything.
Her curiosity gets her into a lot more trouble than it's probably worth.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we'll see.
we'll
We'll
see,
see.
yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, none of this would happen if Rico didn't have balls of steel.
True. True.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, and Reg wasn't just the most, best relic to have
He is
next
the, well,
to you.
I mean,
I mean,
exactly.
she found Mega Man.
She found Mega Man, and
yeah.
Mega Man is not the most confident. Mega Man is not the most like egotistical.
Right.
I mean, really, he's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
You know, like
He's naive.
yeah, he's very naive.
Yeah.
You know, and so he's learning because he
he's
has insomnia.
About
so
to
he
say,
doesn't
he's
remember where
also
he came
learning who he is as the story goes on.
Right.
You know.
Ooh.
from. Uh huh.
So,
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
we're getting there.
Well,
we're getting
okay,
there.
so
it
I'll
ain't
just
got
say
bad
this.
yet.
I didn't rewatch any of this.
Yeah.
I did not rewatch
didn't
it. I
rewatch
meant
it?
to
It's like
rewatch
Requiem
the
for a
movie,
Dream. I feel like
but
you don't need to.
I just rethought about the movie.
Oh,
That's
we'll-
why I felt
we'll-
that way.
We'll
Yeah.
get there. Hey, man, that's why I said heart insurance.
Uh-huh.
Get that shit protected because it's
Oh.
about to go down.
It's about to go down as we go
Literally.
down.
As we
as
go
we go
down.
down.
There are
So-
some curious people, aren't there?
Yeah,
you got the next chunk?
So they're going. So they're going. They get down to the first layer, and this
Hey,
is like the
quick question. What layer is the film? Is the
fifth.
Okay, there
That's
you go.
fifth layer.
Okay, so that's way far down.
That's way-
Well, it's not all the way down there
It's not all
because
the
they
way
first when they first encountered that was on the
with her
with
little.
Nanachi.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
yeah, and that was on the
Layer
4.
That's 4.
That was
Where
fourth
the
layer.
where the
Yeah.
field of flowers is and everything. Because that's
No,
No, that's layer 5.
that's getting
That's-
closer to layer 5.
Right, because remember the field of flowers wasn't actually real.
What
it
you-
was,
what-
so it's where the cups are then.
That's
it's where
the
all
goblets of the
yeah. Okay.
giants,
Yeah.
yeah.
Totally. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so back there on the first layer, Hodo ends up like
Love him.
that dude. I love that dude.
Love him.
He's a big teddy bear. I want to give him a hug. Anyways, he ends up catching up with them, and they think
Yeah.
that he's
Yeah, yeah.
come to
Chastise
take-
them and
take
yeah,
them
totally.
back.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, and then he's just like, no, I just came to get a look at your, dude.
Yeah.
I just came to get a look at your robot.
Uh-huh.
Cool
It's like,
Mega
I'm not
Man.
gonna break. Yeah, cool Mega Man,
Because
dude.
they convinced him to go down there and help him out and help Rico out
Yeah.
by telling Hodo that she had a really cool robot.
Yeah.
And he's
Absol-
like,
and
you need to see this thing. And he's like, oh, I gotta see it.
Oh, I gotta see it.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna go get it. But at the time, the leader, the guy who trains them at the orphanage.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
vestige of a teenager we have in this show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. But he's badass. Anyways, so he actually sent a note that's like, you have 24 hours and then I'm coming for you.
Oh, yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
they think it's him.
And he put it in Reg's pocket.
Put it in.
They
Rex.
were sneaking
He
around.
already knew, dog, because it was their final test.
Uh-huh.
He's just
That's
like,
so
if you're
funny.
if
Yeah.
you're gonna fucking do it, do it.
Yeah.
But I'm coming.
but I'm
for
coming
you.
for you.
Yeah.
But so Hodo is like, okay, well, they asked Nate and their other friend asked me to come and help you get down to the observation area or whatever where the first white whistle that they'll actually encounter is, and he and of course Rico is all like, look, I don't want you to help us. This is our
Right.
final test. Like,
Yeah.
she is really
She's adamant about it.
She's adamant about it.
Yeah.
And so he finally is just like, well, okay, well, here's some food, and by the way, Ozen,
Ozen.
Ozen,
the
So I was
immovable.
thinking, I was watching a Meshuggah video. Ozen the
The immovable.
fucking name.
Yeah.
But
He's
he's
like,
just like,
beware.
oh, by the way, she's kind of a lot to deal with, so just be careful. when
Uh-huh.
you're
and
there.
and Rico's like, oh my God, she's a white whistle. Oh, we're gonna be such good friends.
Oh.
I can't wait. And he's like, I repeat, beware of Ozen the immovable.
Right.
Just the look on his
Right.
eyes,
Yeah.
he was just like, no,
You don't
you don't
understand.
understand.
Doesn't Ozen have like an academy? Isn't that what's going on?
It's like a waypoint.
Yes.
Okay, but
Yeah.
there are people there that are studying under Ozen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's why I was taking it that way. It's like some kind of. It is a waypoint. It's definitely like a stopping place, but it seems like there's a collective of people that are there
That actually.
Yeah.
doing research.
They're doing research, and yes.
you know,
I think it's mostly doing research, and then like you have a crew of people that actually sort out a lot of the relics, because the way that the way that some of the deeper cave raiders, the ones that are deeper into the abyss, get their shit back is through those balloons.
That's so
and
cool.
a lot of the time, what happens is the balloons will get up to that waypoint, and then they'll have to grab it and then like sort it out and then send it the rest
all
of
the way up. Yeah.
You know,
and then I mean, you find that as white whistles go, of course, people of a lesser tier are going to gravitate towards them, right? Because I mean, that also kind of implies safety.
Yeah.
You know, nearer to them. The same thing happened with Bondred.
But it's like, so they get to the waypoint, and they have to get on an elevator that lifts them up. And if again, where they are in the abyss, if you even go up a slight incline, you're going to start feeling the curse. It's the curse of the abyss. And where they're currently at, it's what is it? It's really just nausea at that point.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe a little bit of loopiness, but like, for the most part, it's just they start going up the on the elevator.
At that point, don't you also start bleeding from your orifices?
That's not yet.
That's
not yet.
there. Not there.
Yeah.
That's around the goblets of giants.
So
okay,
brutal.
That's around the goblets of giants.
You're
That's
right.
further down.
Yeah, so this is just not.
So that is that the veil? Would that
I
be
think
the
that's
veil?
actually the third layer.
Well, I mean, I think getting to the veil, we should probably wait until we get down to the fourth level to explain that part.
Okay.
Yeah,
But-
because
So they meet Maruk.
Yeah.
Maruk, which is this little boy and or girl that is basically the apprentice of Obsin. Ozen. God damn it.
I got you.
Ozen.
I got you, fam.
Ozen. And, they're cute, and Rico and Reg and them become friends. And, and then Ozen approaches them, and it's just kind of like, I remember you. And it's like, wait, what? What do you mean? What do you mean you remember me? It's like, oh, I brought you back up from the abyss, because this is where, I think you learn it a little bit before this, but this is where you learn like the full story. Liza, her mom, or Rico's mom, actually got put on a mission while she was pregnant with Rico.
Yeah.
Right.
So Rico was actually
Ozen was working with Liza's mom.
with that
She
crew.
it's implied that she was in love with Liza's mom.
It is implied. It is implied, but she ended up falling in love with like a black whistle.
Why? Well, Liza did. Liza
did.
fell in love with a black whistle and ended up
that's-
having she got married, and Ozen was like, what? And so they never really go into. What you do know is that she loved Liza because like Ozen was always really standoffish. She was always, kind of odd to herself, very, very strong and very strong-willed, very, very powerful. But
She
put
is
most people
unmovable.
off. She's the immovable,
Yeah.
right? And so, but she did. Liza was the only person that really kind of showed her light,
And she actually opened up to Liza.
And she did.
Yeah.
She opened up to Liza, but she was always brutal to Liza.
Oh,
She always abused her. You know what I'm saying? She'd always like beat her up and shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
She'd
But
punish her
Liza
a lot.
came back, man, because
Yeah.
she's the fucking
And
annihilator.
Liza's just like her daughter in the way that's like, okay, string me up. I don't care. Whatever. I'm gonna keep doing my shit.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
want to
saying?
keep
It's like,
going. I want to go further.
I want to go further down, and so, but then Liza ended up getting married, which kind of set Ozen off. Ozen started kind of resenting Liza's husband and then in turn Liza's child,
Right.
because both of these things are taking Liza
Yeah.
away from Ozen.
Well,
and in turn, it comes to find out that Liza gives birth while they're down in the abyss.
And then
trying
they have
get
to send Rico back up in like that container thing.
Yeah,
they put
that
her
big
into
fucking
a-
brick that looks like a hellmouth.
Yeah.
because she died. She was
Yeah.
stillborn.
Yeah, she was dead.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
She was stillborn.
Yeah, she was stillborn when she died, so they put her into a relic that actually ended up bringing her back to life while they were taking her up
Yeah.
through the
But
abyss. Because Liza's like, abandon the mission. I've got to get my child back to the surface.
Yeah.
And Ozen's like, fuck, all right.
I was like, well,
And the whole time-
because their whole crew got fucking wiped out
Yeah.
except for Liza and Ozen.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
Ozen
Yeah.
was the only one actually strong enough to carry that big motherfucker.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Because Ozen's a beast.
Dude,
Because she's a beast.
Oh, she's a bad bitch.
Yeah, dude. And so, they're getting Rico, you know, who's just a baby in the relic at the time, back up to the surface. And Ozen even, you know, speaking to the Rock, is just like, I could just throw you into the abyss right now.
Seriously.
Like, I should abandon you right here. Like, this is a waste of time. But then Rico comes back to life within that rock.
Yeah.
You know, and so she takes her the rest of the way.
Takes the rest of the way.
So-
And this is all stuff that Ozen is telling Rico when they get to that waypoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of explaining it, and it's really fucking, like, kind of mean to her. 'Cause
Yeah.
She
She
does.
She
does.
still
Yeah.
resents her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Still
does.
resents her.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, so, you know, you go through this whole ordeal where they're hanging out at the waypoint and meeting Ozen and Maruk. And eventually what ends up happening after, you know, Ozen explains all this to her is you notice her start putting on the fucking armor and putting on her cape. And it's just like, look, I'm not going to hold back. And then she goes hard on Reg. And, and it's like, oh shit, she really is not a good person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she's going to kill these kids.
She will.
You know, and she would, you know, but you know, and what ends up happening is obviously Reg like uses this incinerator, and she's like, huh,
So
interesting.
don't use that. Yeah.
By the way, you pass out every time you use that for about 2 hours, and if you do that, then Rico's going to be undefended in the abyss. So when you use this, you need to make sure you kill anything that you pointed
She
at.
said, "Don't use it." That was her whole big thing is don't use it. But if you do, make sure without a shadow of a doubt that you obliterate whatever that target is.
That's right.
Yep.
You know,
Which ends up, it turns out that she wasn't necessarily trying to. She would have killed both of them,
Right.
if they couldn't like prove to her that they were worthy of going any further.
Right.
And what ends
If anything,
up
she probably would have killed Reg. You know, She
Probably-
would have- and
probably not Rico.
sent Rico back.
Yeah, you know, but
You know, that's my theory, only because she loves Liza. Like,
yeah,
more than anything
yeah.
else.
But basically, what she was doing is she was just testing them, and what ends up happening is she's just
Because
like,
she knows how hard the abyss is,
absolutely,
man.
yeah. And so she starts putting him through this training where they kind of do that FMA thing where the mentor takes the disciples or whatever out to like a like a more wooded, more like jungle foresty area, and just basically just like you have 2 weeks, survive.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where they get a lot of you know, and they go through this whole montage of training, and it's really cool. And there's this weird hippo thing that keeps trying to eat them.
yeah.
dude. And you know, they kind of learn a little bit more about themselves and what they can actually, like, what Reg can actually do and stuff.
Yeah, because he's still trying to figure out his own body, like, during all of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously they come back. They were successful in their training, and so Ozen's just like, okay, shoot, get the fuck out of here.
Well, she also tells Rico that, she's like, you're aware that if a whistle ever comes back without its owner, then that person's probably dead.
Yeah.
Like, that's what people consider them dead. Because Rico thought the whole time that this was just a message from her mom. Her mom sent her this stuff.
Yeah.
Ozen's like, she's probably dead.
probably
you know?
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she, like almost
And
for
there's a
certain she's dead.
mystery, and well, it's one of those things too. It's just like only the person who is the owner of the white whistle.
That's later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a movie.
But no, Ozen tells her.
Does she?
Yeah, she says, you know, you can't even use.
Well,
that.
Yeah.
Like, because only Liza could have used that. whistle.
Right, but I guess they just don't go into detail.
No, they don't
why that
explain
is.
why
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah.
So let's see.
So then we move on from there and we go down, and they end up being attacked by, what was that? Was it a scorpion? Was it the big? No, it was the orb.
Not the orb piercer. You're thinking that's a little bit later.
No, it's the flying thing,
it's
right?
the big flying snake.
Oh yeah,
and
because you have
Crimson
all the
Slipjaw.
cats.
Yeah.
All the
Crimson
little-
Slipjaw.
Yeah.
In the holes and everything.
Yeah,
Fuck, I
man.
forgot about
There's
that.
they're trying to get down on this really flat,
yeah.
like cliff face,
Yeah.
okay, and they really don't have a lot of space, and there's all these flying creatures
Yeah.
that will literally just swoop in and
Yeah.
attack anything that they see.
They're
Right.
huge.
So in
Yeah.
the hole, they're like, how are we gonna get over there? And there are these little like
Cat rats?
cat rat things,
Yeah.
whatever. And like, I think it's funny because Rico like Rico grabs them and it's just like, oh, I hate to do this, and you think she's gonna say something like, oh man, I really don't want to kill anything, because you know that's what a normal person would
No,
probably
it's like,
think.
you'll be
And she's
delicious.
just like, man, I would have rather turned you into a tasty meal.
Because Riku's
yeah.
also a very good cook. It's
Yeah,
very,
totally.
That's
Oh
important
yeah,
to
that's
know.
great.
Yeah.
But and then she just slings them out, and then all the flying monsters like come and eat them real quick while like Reg shoots out his arm over to the other hole, and they like get in there real quick, and then the Crimson Split Jaw
Yes.
attacks her, which turns out is the exact same Split Jaw that attacked her in like episode 1
Right.
when they were on the first
yeah.
one. That's why he's got that crystal shit on his head, because that's where Reg
shot him.
That's where he shot him.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like it's coming for vengeance, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because they said that they're like actually very, very intelligent.
Oh yeah.
And so that they're not just like mindless killing creatures.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're actually very calculating.
I have
and
a theory
so
about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Reg ends up using the incinerator again and passing out, which ultimately leaves Rico defenseless.
Oh
for
man,
a
this
couple
part
hours.
sucks.
This
part fucking sucks.
Okay, so she ends up getting eaten by this thing that like smells like a certain type of food. Like it's this
Kind of
weird.
like a Venus flytrap.
Yeah,
kind
I guess so, yeah.
Situation.
It's in the and like she steps over it trying to figure out what the smell is. The thing opens up, it falls into her belly, and it's just like, oh no,
like,
I'm
God, I
being
got
digested.
eaten.
I'm
Yeah.
being digested. and the whole time she's like carrying Reg on her
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
And
dude.
he's a heavy boy,
Yeah.
you know. So she's having to figure out how to get out of here. She, is just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna
it,
cut
take your
my
knife.
way
Right,
out.
cut a hole in it. Right, that's so good. Yeah.
And it just spills out. And
She
that thing
oozes out of it.
She
Yeah.
oozes out of it, and then those cat things. Like start smelling her, because that's what the smell is for, is to attract those things specifically.
Yeah.
So they think that she's food, so now she's got to run the
from
fuck away
them,
from them. While Reg is still
Right.
and this is
And
where
then she has to go up an incline.
then she has to go up an incline. It's not even that far of an incline.
Not even a lot, dude.
And she starts bleeding
Oh
from
my
the
gosh.
eyes. She
From the
starts
nose.
she starts hallucinating that she's back up top and her mom's there. And
It's like, come on to me.
come
here.
to me, come
Yeah.
to death.
Yep.
And she ends up having to. She has to
Snap
break
out
snap
of it.
out
and
of
fucking,
it.
dude.
Like, it's so.
Yeah.
There's just.
It's heavy.
It
Oh,
gets bad.
This is when they start putting the weight
This
on
is
you.
when it starts really getting bad.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
she overcomes that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the next big point is when they get to the Goblet of Giants.
Yeah.
So this is
so
where
then that's where the orb.
the
what's it
orb
called?
piercer.
Orb piercer. Yeah.
Orb piercer. And so
But when they get there,
'Cause
they
the
notice
orifice
that
are-
there's something in the background, kind of hanging out.
yeah. Reg says that he's been feeling a presence.
Right.
for a while.
It's
Like,
like there's
been-
something watching us.
There's
you
something
know?
that's been
And
watching
And they
us
kind of
recently.
imply that it was the orb piercer, because
Right.
the orb piercer
Uh-huh.
comes out, and orb piercer shoots these spines.
They're spines. That's
yes,
what it is.
and if these
And
spines,
they're poisonous.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
very, very poisonous. And I mean, if you get poisoned by the spine, you're gonna die.
You're
That's
dead.
just
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
And so the orb piercer ends up attacking Reg, and it's like highly resilient, you know. So like his attacks aren't working on
Well,
it.
it's perceptive too. It's almost like it's reading.
It's
his
reading
mind.
exactly.
Yeah. Reading his
right.
button inputs.
Reading his
Uh-huh,
button inputs.
exactly.
He
It's
knows
like
how to
fucking
read them
Psycho
zero
Mantis
one.
over here.
Really?
Yeah, and so, but Reg ends up, protecting Rico. I always want to call her Rico.
I know. Me too. That's
it's Final
yeah.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
But he ends up protecting Rico from a volley of these spines, but it comes
One
to find
gets
out that
through.
one got through and
Yeah.
stabbed her in the hand. Right.
And the only course that he has to get away, because the orb piercer will be able to follow him very quickly. He can't just run.
Right.
So he's got to go
Gotta
up.
ascend.
He's got to ascend
Fast.
real fast.
Uh-huh.
And like, so he and of course Rico's just like, look, we got to do what we got to do. We got to
Right.
get the fuck out of here
Yeah.
because I got to deal with this.
Uh-huh.
So he grabs her, they ascend, and at first it's just like, oh, she's gonna be fine, and then blood. Just so much, and she pisses herself, and it's just like the whole time she's just like, and the
Just
hand is just
excruciating pain.
swollen, okay, and she says Sareg is just like, you're gonna have to cut it off. And she starts walking him through a field amputation. Okay, she's just like, you're gonna have to
break the bone, because he wanted to just try to cut.
Right.
And she's like, you're never gonna be able to get through the bone with that.
She says that she heard a story from a Black Whistle that had to do this to himself, and he ended up having to just saw through his bone.
Right, and she's like, that takes a lot of
that
effort.
Takes a lot of time.
You're gonna need to break it at the joint, break it at the elbow, and then
break it like
break it above
it, because
above it.
Later they talk about how
you can still do something.
You can still do something.
Yeah.
So she obviously wanted to continue the adventure even after that.
Right. Because if you break it at the elbow, then that ends their adventure right here.
Yeah, but she did have that Popeye arm though.
Oh man.
And of course Reg is just beside himself the whole time, because he's like, to save you, I have to hurt you so bad, and he just can't take it, man. He's just a kid.
Yeah.
Well, he's not used to this.
Still, she starts passing out, and he's like, I don't know what I have to do, and he's like, okay, well, I have to do it. So he takes a rock, puts her arm on the rock, and breaks that motherfucker, and then he starts the cutting process.
And he just can't do it. He's like shaking the whole fucking time. And
he was in there.
Oh yeah, he was getting.
Yeah, he was cutting, but he didn't cut all the way through it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so,
dude, and that scene, like, it hurts. It hurts to watch, because they don't turn away from any of it.
No, you can see.
This isn't off-screen shit. You see it all.
Man, this goes into like gore porn territory.
Seriously, it really does.
It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, now I understand why they made the characters look so cute. Because by the time you get to that point, you're so endeared to these characters.
Right.
You don't want to see them get hurt.
Anything happens.
You don't want to see any of this shit.
But everything
happens.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So that's probably the first big gut punch.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he's sitting there with the knife and he's digging in there trying to cut, and then we find out who's been watching him the whole time.
Nanachi
comes out.
so awesome.
Nanachi's amazing.
Great, I love her.
So Nanachi appears, and she is very bestial in form. She looks like a child mixed with like a rabbit.
Yeah, she's like a rabbit girl.
And so she shows up, and she's just like, okay,
hey,
well,
you're
we need to get
fucking
her.
this up.
Yeah, you're fucking this up. We need to get y'all
a very
out of
good
here.
job, are you?
Exactly. It's like, and also you didn't need to do all of that. Like we could
Right.
probably just fix her arm, but now you fucked it up kind of bad, and it'll never be
And
the
she's
same.
pretty much talking like that.
Oh yeah, she's
That's
very.
the funny
Dude,
part.
she's
Well,
super.
if you
just
hadn't have
matter
broke
of
the
fact.
goddamn arm, then I could have done something.
Right. And so.
But of course, at that point, Rico had stopped breathing, and Reg was freaking. That's honestly why he stopped.
Oh yeah,
cutting.
because he stopped cutting, she stopped breathing, and so he screamed.
And she's like, "You're so loud.
You're so loud. Man. Why are you so
Why
loud?
do you have to be so loud?" And
then she takes him back to her bunny.
Yeah,
bunny
yeah.
hut.
She talks him through
goddamn
like
hut,
a
man.
CPR to get
Yeah, he's like,
Rico
breathe
breathing.
into her mouth,
And
and
it's really funny. I had to point this out because she like kind of jabs at him a little bit. It's just like,
'cause you already kissed her.
because you gotta. It's like a kiss. You know what a kiss is, right? And he's just like this.
yeah.
He's
When
trying to blow into, like he's trying to get the air.
yeah, I think
back
that
in.
might have been a little bit different because we watched the sub.
You
You guys
watched
watched
sub.
the dub, so they didn't really allude to the kiss until Rico was awake.
Right.
When Rico's awake, he was like, "Yeah, you already kissed her."
Yeah,
Rico's
yeah.
like, "Wait, what? You did what?"
What do you mean? What's a kiss?
Yeah, but at first he was like just blowing her mouth. But you did get Nanachi, because Nanachi's a little horny. You did. She's blushing and sitting there watching.
The
It was like,
I love it.
but then they end up taking Rico to her hut, which is like like removed from the effects of the
It's
abyss.
in a weird space, yeah, because the curse of the abyss doesn't seem to envelop that specific area,
Right.
For one
Yeah.
reason or another. I think it's like the further you get away from the center of the abyss, the less effects the curse itself.
So this
has.
is like an offshoot off to a direction.
Yeah, something like that.
And then it's the actual hut itself. You know, just
I love
looks
that
like
design.
it looks like a hut at first, man.
Yeah,
it looks like a face, but
Yeah,
it
looks like a little bit. Yeah,
looks like a hut.
I love it.
That's some Ghibli shit right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
dude,
And
there's a
then-
lot
well,
of this.
And then there's her friend.
Well, okay, so they get to the hut, and you know, so she's like, okay, well, I've got.
Is this where
you
she
know,
makes the bad food?
Yeah.
Well, she
That's
does. She
where
makes some really bad food. Well, not yet. But
Okay.
she's like, okay, well, you need to go and get these things. She tells Reg that he needs to go and get some items.
Yeah.
that'll help her cure
It's like
Rico.
a demon fish,
right.
some kind of fern,
Uh-huh.
and then a shroom bear.
A
Those
shroom
things are
bear.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like-
Oh, I know, so
Yeah.
good. And she's like, you know, and I have a roommate, you
Yeah.
know, and her roommate is called Mitty. It's this little blob of flesh.
It's a
Yeah.
slime.
It's a little, yeah.
I was like,
With
cool.
an- with
you
an
know a
eyeball.
slime.
with an eyeball and,
And
a
a
mouth
mouth
that
that
opens like this.
This seems
Yeah.
strange, but whatever.
And so yeah, man, and so yeah, you know, Mitty's just there. Mitty's kind
Yeah.
of cute, not really thinking about in a disgusting way. It's kind of adorable, but not thinking about shit, and kind of
and when you first
loves
see Minnie,
Rico.
you just kind of take it for what it is.
Well, yeah, right.
yeah.
But then Mitty also, you know, get on top of Rico and just put Rico's face in Mitty's mouth.
Yeah.
you know what I'm
and just
saying?
kind of
And-
just kinda
gonna be there.
to her.
Yeah,
and just
you
be
know.
there. She's not trying to hurt her.
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah, she's just kind of
Hanging out.
yeah.
knowing.
But
Yeah, and then so Reg goes out to get the ingredients. Whatever, comes back. You know, it turns out that the things that he was gathering were just for Nanachi to make her dinner.
Just dinner.
except for the shroom bear,
Except for the
Yeah.
shroom bear.
which is like a little like hamster kind of thing
Yeah.
or whatever, a little bit
Yeah.
bigger than a hamster.
It has these
but
parasitic mushrooms on
top,
its back.
that whenever their host seems like it's gonna die,
They pump it full of
they
nutrients.
pump it through full of nutrients
bring it back
then
to life.
Bring it back to life. So what they're doing, what John Nanacheaton does, is she puts those shrooms on Rico's arm so they'll suck out the poison
Right.
and give her nutrients and keep her alive
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
she can heal.
Dude,
So-
it's crazy.
So
And,
Let me put this
like,
parasite
during-
fungus on you.
Right,
Like-
and all of it's experimental. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Nanachi's just like, okay,
Yeah.
this should work, so I'm just gonna try this shit.
Yeah.
It's like I don't fucking know.
It's holistic medicine.
Right,
Come on,
exactly,
like,
exactly. But Nanachi's a genius.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, she's doing all of this to get.
She's already run a lot of these experiments.
Right,
You
she
know?
has. But you know, Reg was just like, okay, well, you know, tell me your story. Like, how'd you get here? What's going on? And she's like, I don't want to tell you my story because if I tell you my story, you're gonna want to help us. You know,
Oh, she does say
yeah,
that.
she told him, she's like, you're gonna
Yeah.
want to help us, and he's just
Yeah.
like, wait, what are you talking about?
You saved my friend. Of course, I'm gonna want to
I'm gonna
help
help you.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then she gives him
the
she
lowdown
spills the
on
beans,
yeah,
man.
on,
Yeah, but even right here, you only know a portion of the story.
Well, we know, but
you
get
know a lot
you get
more.
yeah.
Right, but you still don't even know the depth
Oh
of it.
no,
Right.
no! You don't know the depth of it, but what you learn is
horrifying.
It's deep enough.
Horrible.
Once
Yeah.
again, we're going down the abyss as they're going down
right,
the abyss.
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah. Metaphor.
So how?
Metaphor.
But this is
So
actually
you-
where I'm thinking. How much of it do we explain now? Because it's that they were experimented on.
well, yeah, I think if we just follow this path, I think that we're gonna get there because
Okay.
right now we are already on episode probably like what?
Oh, we're
9?
close to the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're almost
We're
there.
literally
right,
almost
we're almost
there.
to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
but so what you find out about Nanachi and Mitty is that they were both like orphans that got
orphans.
gathered up by Bertrude, the sovereign of
Bondrude.
the
Jesus Christ, this
dawn.
guy Bertrude.
Bertrude.
Hey man, hey,
Bertrude,
it could be
dude.
done. It could be
Hey,
different.
but Bondrude is an amazing character.
We'll get to him.
He coming, baby.
He coming.
So Bondrude did the same thing that a lot of the cave raiders up top was doing. He was a white whistle that would recruit children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he take them in and raise them, but one by one they would start being removed from the group,
Yeah.
and they never return.
So how he ends up experimenting on these
Well,
kids.
before you go that far, Nanachi as a child was one of those children.
Right.
and you find out that Mitty was also one of those children
And was once
and
human.
they were once human, yes, and
they were besties.
They were best friends because Mitty was always picked on. They'd
Yeah.
always picked on Mitty all the time, and Nana, she just kind of, she's
like
doing
whatever.
her own thing,
And
but
Mitty was nice to her, so it's
Mitty,
like,
yeah,
you know,
like
they
like-
were both kind of in the same boat because Nanachi stank.
yeah, Nana, she stank,
Yeah.
nobody liked her,
Nobody
and
liked
Mitty had boobs way too
Mitty's-
early.
Mitty's
Jesus
too,
Christ.
Mitty's just too cheerful, man.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But
she's
she
kind
was
of
like,
an idiot.
"Oh wait,
yeah.
no! Didn't Nana she stand up for Mitty?" And then Mitty was like, like some kids were picking on, picking
I
on.
think Mitty, like from what I remember, Mitty just
Was
turns around and sees Nanachi and is just like, "Hey, what's that
no,
book?"
before that, but before that, there were some kids that were picking on Mitty,
Right.
and Nanachi stood up for her, and that's why when they were all down together and they were going to whatever the holding area was, she went up to Mitty, was like, "Hey, can we be friends?"
Yeah.
and Mitty's like, Nanachi's like, "I don't really have friends, but
Yeah,
like,
but
totally."
whatever.
But Nanachi knew a lot about a lot of different shit because she read all of those books because she did come from like basically the gutters. The only thing she ever had to read were old texts that were written in like the ancient dialects, right? So ancient dialects, ancient languages, and so Mitty found that all like really interesting because like a lot of shit that none of these other kids know, and they're not even worried about that shit. And so they started learning together, and she started teaching Mitty about those ancient languages, and they formed a very close bond.
very close friendship. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just like, Nanachi, you're just so good at drawing, and Nanachi's over there drawing Mitty.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
it's like, it's
Yeah,
it's adorable.
Yeah, it is. It is. They love each other.
So what ends up happening is obviously all these orphan kids, like one by one, their herds being thinned, because Bondrewd is taking them aside one by one and experimenting with them, and the way he's doing it is he's dropping him down into the 6th layer, this little dead-end hole, and on the 6th layer, and then shooting them back up really, really quick.
Right.
Because he's trying to figure out a way, okay, how can I mitigate the effects of the curse
of the abyss.
How do I do that? And what ends up happening,
I think this is a good place to also note that
This
it's
is movie
kind of
shit, right?
no, not yet.
not quite, almost there.
This it's going to be out of chronological order, but Regu ends up being explained. Nanachi explains to Regu that the reason why, well, that's I watched the sound.
Regu.
Regu. But she explains to him that the abyss kind of works like there's a veil that exists within the abyss.
Yeah.
And as you push through that, and you're resisting. Basically resisting the abyss, it's also pressing back on you.
Yeah.
And so that's what causes that effect, such as bleeding, such as, and the further down you go, the denser that veil is.
Absolutely.
And so
she says
that's
if you
what.
put a finger through it, you're probably not going to feel that many effects, but once you start getting into like vital organs and like, your whole body, that's when it really starts to fuck with you.
Right. And it gets really bad towards the drop from the 5th layer to the 6th layer.
Yeah.
They say that's like
Specifically.
that's your last dive.
That's your last
right.
dive.
So if you actually go from the 5th to the 6th layer,
You're
you
not
use
coming back
parts
up.
of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like they say that you cease to be yourself.
Yeah.
And so what Bondrewd is doing is he's dropping kids to that 6th layer and then bringing them up super fucking fast.
Yeah, and they end up turning into basically
they turn into piles of
they put
of
in
flesh.
piles
And so,
of flesh that like don't really have like a mind, or they're just kind of running on instinct at that point.
Cronenberg's.
Yeah,
right.
Cronenberg,
And so
exactly.
it turns out to be that Nanachi and Mitty were the last 2 kids remaining. He comes to get Mitty. And Nanachi's like, this is fucked up. Something's going on. So she goes out there to try to find Mitty. Ends up finding her.
Around.
Well, she found her. Yeah, she found her, but she also found Bondrewd. And Bondrewd's like, okay, great. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
He's like, oh, well, I guess
such a
it's
magnificent bastard.
yeah. It's like I guess it's your turn.
Love to hate that man.
And so he sends both of the girls down together.
Yup.
And then brings them back up. And he's just like, okay, so we're gonna make Mitty Mitty take on all of the
All
curse,
the curse.
100% of the
and
curse.
then you'll
and-
get the blessing.
Exactly,
Yeah,
right? So he
exactly.
brings them up.
Mitty, make sure that you stay conscious because if you pass out, then Nanachi
Nanachi will die.
Nanachi will die.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And Mitty says it. Mitty's like, I'll take this. She's like, I'll take this for you. And they start bringing him up, boy.
Dude, and it's,
And it was horrific because, like, you know,
because they can see each
Nanachi, they're right there looking at each other and they're screaming to one another.
Yeah.
And while Nanachi is slowly starting to change and morph, and
Turn
she gets
into
her
Rabbit
ears,
Girl, yeah.
turn into Rabbit. Mitty, on the other hand, starts to bleed. Next thing you know,
Literally melts.
she starts to melt.
Yeah.
Yes, and you
that
still see the her in her eyes as her face is contorting
Uh-huh.
and turning into that sideways mouth and splitting open.
And the last thing that she says before she goes full Cronenberg
is kill me.
Kill me. And screams it too. I mean, this is
Yeah, yeah. Dude, and
emotional
and
roller
once again,
coaster.
let's reemphasize the fact they don't cut away
They don't
from
cut away.
shit.
No. No, you
They,
they
don't
don't.
cut away from anything. And so when this is happening to Mitty, oh, I mean, it might as well have happened to you.
It's
Like,
on full display.
It
man.
is. It
Ooh.
is. And I mean, that'd be traumatizing for some people, man. You know, like
Yeah.
that was dark. That was
Yeah.
super dark. And so, but yeah, so we understand that that's what happened. Nanachi ended up working with Bondrewd afterwards. Bondrewd kept trying to kill Mitty. You know, well, she didn't know about it. She was helping with experiments, but then it came to find out that
Mitty
he had
was
been
still alive,
yeah,
and he had been
he'd been-
experimenting on her because she's effectively immortal.
immortal.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's like he'd use different weapons and different tools on her. The only thing he was able to do
Dude.
was destroy one of her eyes.
And then he brings Nanachi into the room. It's like, this is quite fascinating. You see, I haven't been able to kill her. All of her parts have just now started growing back. Come, look! Like, and that's
Yeah.
like his whole thing is just like he's just such a magnificent bastard.
Without any regard as to whether she feels any of it or
He
any of that
doesn't
shit.
care
He
about-
doesn't care at all. It's
he's-
just an experiment.
No.
for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's just fascinated.
Yeah.
And I love that
cares.
line. It's a little bit later on, but I love that line when they're this actually happened is there's a black whistle talking to Bondrewd
Yeah.
about like, hey man, this is actually really wrong what you're doing to these kids.
And he's like, it's kind of fucked up.
and
man.
he's just like, just on a humanitarian basis, and Beatrice is like, oh, I see where your problem is. You see, I'm not using them as humans.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
You
they're-
motherfucker.
it's just, I mean, he's married to the science, man. That's what
Absolutely.
it's all about. It's
That's
all
why
about
he's
the
the
science.
sovereign of Dawn, dude.
We flash back forward to Nanachi talking to Reg, and she's like, well, what my request to you is, will you please kill Mitty?
Uh-huh.
You know, and so now Reg has to kind of wrestle with that and be like, okay, well, you know,
Do I
don't know if
do a
wanna-
mercy killing?
Do I kill? Yeah, dude. You know what I'm saying? That
Are we
this was a
sure-
human.
Yeah,
Are we sure that she's not
she's-
conscious?
Yeah.
Like,
Are
yeah.
you sure that she is just running off of instinct, that there isn't like a person there?
Mhm.
You know, so he has to wrestle with that.
Because she's like, his incinerator's the only thing
Yeah.
that would be able to actually.
Yeah, because he actually
kill
goes
Mitty.
back and kills the orb piercer with
Uh-huh.
the incinerator, and that's how Nanachi
She's
finds
like,
out about it.
"Ooh."
He's like, oh,
Yeah.
that'll work.
Uh-huh.
You know, because she's
Yeah.
been like using the orb piercer poison. She's been like slamming nails into Mitty's head, trying to kill her.
Well,
you
and
know?
she's also been experimenting on a lot of the other whistles that end
Right.
up coming down there.
Mhm.
Like she has a lot of whistles on her wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's got like, I mean,
yeah.
there's like 8 or 9 of them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So she has been.
mostly black whistles.
There's a reason why she has the medical know-how
Right.
that she has, right? All that to say, she's a terrible cook.
Bad cook.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the worst.
Well, because she just grinds shit together.
And then you know, Regu ends up trying to jump up and be like, no, I'll teach you to cook. I've seen Rico do it.
Yeah.
And he's a bad cook.
He's a bad cook.
You know, so he's terrible. You know, Rico ends up waking up. Now, was she awake when Mitty
No,
was
no,
okay?
'cause that was right after.
Yeah, so
Right.
she didn't even meet Mitty.
Right.
Yeah.
She got the story way after.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Way
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
Okay. So he ends up taking on the challenge of killing Mitty.
And it's so
Dude, it's hard.
it's hard to watch, dude, because
Especially because go ahead.
about to say, Nanachi is just beside. Even though she's the one who's like been trying to make this happen, and yes,
It's
it would
so
be.
hard
It
for
would
her.
probably be a mercy.
Well,
it is still.
It's
so
our first
hard.
time where we really see that level of emotion in Nanachi,
Yes.
because she's always really measured. She's really
very
dry.
she's very reserved.
dry.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so he agrees to do the thing, and they're like, okay, well, it's time to kill Mitty. And he's charging up his incinerator, about to do it, and that's when you first see it, and she breaks, and she runs out there and hugs Mitty, and he's just like, oh shit, maybe I'm not gonna do this, and she does. She cries, she's screaming the whole time. She goes back behind him, and she's like, do it.
I am ready now.
Yeah, I'm ready now. And
then he
obliterates him.
does it, and there's just a hole in the ground where Mitty used to be, and again, like that. Dude, that scream that Nanachi has right after that, that's the thing is, like, this whole time Nanachi's been pushing Reg away. Like, Reg would try to get close or grab her, touch her or something, and she'd be like,
people
get
always try to
out of here.
Yeah, she doesn't want to have any bonds. Firstly, but secondly, everybody wants to pet her.
Yeah, she's
Right.
She looks so
fluffy.
soft. Yeah, she looks so
So
soft.
fluffy.
And then I don't know. I also think
But
there's a lot of
so
okay, all right.
Nanachi
There's a lot of
break-
subtext and all that.
Nana-
Yeah, I
yes.
know.
Totally, because she always
Absolutely.
blushes whenever he's like touching, and then you
yeah.
learn something in the movie about that too. So.
Anyway, but Nanachi's breaking down, and this is the first time, like, Reg goes to hug her, and she's just like, get away, but she doesn't actually push
No,
him
she
away,
doesn't.
and
Yeah.
she just needs that comfort, even though she won't admit it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but yeah, really, really sad, sad scene.
It was a heavy moment.
It was a heavy moment.
Is that pretty much the end of the
And
series?
then-
For the
right
most
there?
part,
Well,
Rico,
no, Rico wakes back
Rico
up.
wakes back
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, and the mushrooms are actually like super painful to remove.
Oh man, and
And
they
so-
have to, like,
yeah.
she's got to bite down, and Reg has to hold her down while Nanachi's cutting that shit off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, she has to rip them out.
She has to,
She's ripping them out of her, and so
This is
you
the
know,
big one.
she's-
This
Oh,
one's
yeah.
gonna be really bad.
right,
Like,
right, and so like all that's happening, and then Rico starts recovering, and she starts teaching them how to cook, because she's like, I'm not eating this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then Rico's like, wait, wasn't there another person here? Because while she was passed out when she got there, while she was in her coma, because she was been in a coma the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
She saw Mitty. Mitty would come up to her and be face to face, but basically in Rico's mind, she was basically in a small hole that kept closing in on her more and more and more and more until this little hole that she could just see light through. This eyeball would come closer and closer and closer,
And she
so
said
get
she would
close to the
hear a girl crying. Yeah.
And so that was the only thing that really kind of kept her going, and she would get as close to that eyeball as possible, to the point that they were pupil to pupil, right?
Yeah.
And so she was aware that there was someone else there, but she didn't know anything
Who
about
or
that
what.
story.
Yeah, who or
and
what
so
there.
yeah, and
But
then
that,
of
that
course
also
Rico,
reveals that she was still sentient.
she was she's
was
somewhere
still there.
to some
Somewhere.
degree.
She was some degree.
somewhere,
But
you know?
still, it's also one of those things. It's like,
Oh.
wouldn't it be more painful if she was sentient at that point?
you know. I think loose is maybe the word we're looking
Yeah.
for. But they make it seem as if her pain was the walls closing in, and then Mitty was the only thing distracting her
From that pain.
pretty much giving
yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it hadn't been for Mitty and Mitty suffering, because she said that it sounded like Mitty was suffering worse than she was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and she
know?
wanted to tell that. She's like, I could not speak. I had no mouth, and I must scream.
Yeah.
But it's like, I used my eyes to tell that girl that look, it's gonna be okay. Don't
Right.
give up.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, absolutely.
So-
And so, and then Regu fills her in. Now, that happens off camera.
That happens off camera.
But it's
Some
just
things
like,
happen off camera, but not
right.
that.
Well, I mean, that's one of the. There's no reason to go back through
Right,
that.
exactly.
And so so they start the healing process for her. Is
That's
that
pretty
That's
much
pretty
it.
much.
I mean,
I will
they
say one
might-
more thing though. At the very end of the series, I really like the way that they show the balloon traveling up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I very distinctly remember.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh
going
well,
back through the places we've already
actually,
been.
no. Where this ends is, after all of this, it's time for Reg and Rico to set out on their journey, and they tell Nanachi that they want her to travel with them. Right. Nanachi's just like, I'm ready to die at this point. Right? She's like, Mitty's dead. I've done my part. Now it's time for me to die, and that's and that's it. And they're like, fuck no. You're coming with us. And she's just like, no, I don't want. And then she starts thinking about it.
From Rico's perspective, it's like, this is a foregone conclusion. You're coming.
Yeah, you're coming with us. You're part of the squad, son. That's right. You know, And then she agrees to do it, and she's like, damn you. You know, it's like, it's so cruel that, after this, you gave me something else to care about. You know, like she is finally free of any care, whatsoever.
My suffering can end.
Exactly.
No. It's just starting.
Yeah, man. So they agree to travel down together, and we're heading to the 5th layer.
Yeah, and this is where the movie picks up.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, do we keep going chronological, I guess?
Might as well.
Yeah, so...
Home stretch.
Yeah.
All right, so,
You want me to give this one?
You go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so the fifth layer is run by Bondrewd.
Yep.
That's where he is. That's where all of his people are. That's his shit. Okay, if you go down that far, understand that that's something that you're gonna have to deal with. This was the same situation that they said about Ozen the Immovable. Nanachi. We don't realize her true connection. I mean, we know that he tortured her or experimented on her. We don't know much more about that. But this is basically his lair. So we go down there, and there are all these flowers. These flowers are, what do they call them? Like flowers of
the fuck.
Right. Anyway, there's all these beautiful white flowers, and these flowers are known on the surface as just being super beautiful, and they exist within the abyss. Blah 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 blah. And they end up seeing a figure off in the distance. And that figure ends up being what's known as a Umbra hand. An Umbra hand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so the Umbra hand is out there, and they think that it's there to kill them.
Yeah.
And so Reg, Rico, and Nanachi are just like, okay, Rico and Nanachi stay way back, and they all have headsets so they can communicate with one another, or earpieces so they can communicate with one another. And Reg goes in to investigate, okay? So they're talking to him, and Nanachi's like, hey, watch out for that thing off in the distance. That's one of Bondrewd's men, and, they're going to try to capture us, and et cetera, et cetera. Come to find out, that Bondrewd thing just teleports up on him real quick. So all of a sudden he's dealing with it, right? Dealing with that Umbra hand. And it's talking to Reg, and Nanachi's like, hey, keep it talking. Don't give it any information, but let's find out what it's doing. And it tells him, like, hey, this area is restricted. And Reg was like, well, we'll go where we want to go. And he's like, come with me. You know, he's just like, he's not trying to attack you or do anything to you. It's just like, okay, well, you need to know there are these flesh-eating insects that are living underneath these blossoms. Actually, they disguise themselves as these white flowers, and they have been systematically killing cave raiders, right? And so all of a sudden he realizes that there are all these blue whistles laying on the ground, basically
and
what
black
whistles, what these insects do, as they go into every orifice that they can find and put their larvae into you and eat you from the inside out.
And then they will also feed themselves to, because they don't kill you.
Right, they don't
they
kill
will
you.
feed
They'll leave
themselves.
You alive,
yeah.
And so they'll eat out like your eyes, and everything will be sunken in, but you'll still be, and you see several cases of this actively. Understand that. And so they'll actually, eat their way out of you, but keep your internal organs intact so you stay alive. Even to the point that once one's matured enough, it'll crawl down your throat and sacrifice itself just to keep that food source alive for the rest of the larva.
Yeah, they call it a living meal.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, fuck that.
Bruh.
Fuck that.
That's some crazy shit. And so so the Umbra hand is just like, okay, well, these things have multiplied to such a degree that giant hill over there is packed full of them, and it's gotten out of hand. So all we can do is obliterate them.
We're gonna burn.
We're just waiting for the siren. Once I hear the signal, and he heard the signal, he just starts incinerating those motherfuckers. Because he was telling Reg, he's like, hey man, you need to be quiet or you're gonna wake them up.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. If
And
you wake them
so-
up before I burn these motherfuckers, that's
Right,
on you.
that's on
We're
you.
all dead.
Yeah.
And so they end up, well, getting incinerated, but that also wakes them up, so they become active, and they're trying to get into Reg and trying to get, into the girls. The girls are fortunate enough to get away.
Yeah, because they were far enough back.
Yeah,
From,
And so Reg ends up catching up with them, and then they end up being encountered by Bondrewd's umbral hands, and get taken to his lair.
Yeah, because what
there's nowhere else to
come
go.
to find out at the very, very end of the series, it's pretty much pointed out that Bondrewd knows they're coming.
Oh,
and
yeah.
wants them to come.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's been
He
waiting
wants
them.
Nanachi to come back to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she's a special case.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
know. So they end up taking her, the kids, to the lab, and we meet the most
Prushka.
precious character in the whole fucking show. Oh my god. I love Prushka.
Yeah, I love Prushka.
I love her
Prushka's
character
good.
design. She's fucking adorable.
She is cute.
Like and first when she sees the kids, she's trying to be all like, hi, I'm Prushka. Like, what's your name? And like they're just ignoring her.
Yeah,
and
'cause
she
they made an
gets,
agreement to not tell anybody anything,
yeah.
and Regu's so bad about it.
Are
man.
you from the surface?
Yeah.
Do you know where the dawn is?
Because
Like,
what happened? There was something that Regu responded to. She said names. She's like, names.
Yeah, 'cause
okay,
she's
well,
getting
my name is
frustrated.
Prishka,
Yeah.
because they won't talk to her. And
Yeah.
she's like, pay attention to me.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
she's like, okay, well, my name is Prishka. And he's like, my name is Regu, or my name is Reg. And, they all turn and look at him. Like, motherfucker. dude,
What did we just talk
what did
about?
we just talk about? And so she basically just gets in front of him. He's like, we can slink. And she does. She starts talking to him and everything. And next thing you know, he breaks silence, and she lets us know that
she's Bondrewd's
she's
daughter.
Bondrewd's daughter.
Bondrewd's
Bondrewd comes walking down the hallway with like 6 of his umbral hands, looking like the paths of pain and shit.
Boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of them got their mask with their fucking.
It reminds me
glowing-
of the judges from Final Fantasy 12.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so they come rolling up all ominous style, and she's like, "Daddy."
Yeah.
And goes
And of
running
course
up to
he's
him.
just like, Nanachi,
Yeah.
welcome back.
Yeah, right.
I'm
you know?
so glad
But
that
at the
you're
same time,
here.
he's holding Prushka and treating her with like loving care.
Yeah.
And it's like, I knew the second I saw her,
Dude,
we got problems.
Look,
I
that's
know.
the
okay.
second
so,
I saw her.
Because here's the thing, I wasn't sold on her the first time I watched the movie.
Oh, really?
Okay, not immediately. Not immediately. It really wasn't until she shows them to her room and she keeps talking. And like the one line that I keep coming back to that really got me was when she's just like, oh, you're from the surface? Cool. I've never seen a dawn, but I do know what one is. Thank you very much. It's when the light comes on, and it's just like, oh, you sweet, adorable child. What
sweet,
awful
adorable
thing is going to
sacrifice.
happen to
Dude,
you?
I
And
knew
immediately I was just
the
like,
second,
something really
dude.
bad is going to
yeah.
happen to this
You get those
cherub.
Full Metal Alchemist flashbacks,
Oh
right?
yeah, dude. So it's just
So
I
so
love
yeah,
her.
so she ends up taking them to a little room, looks very much like a cell, but
I cleaned it up myself.
And so Bondrewd basically lets them know that the only path to the 6th layer is open with a white whistle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
only I can blow my white whistle. You have your mom's white
But
whistle,
can
but
he?
you can't use that.
But can he blow his white whistle?
That's a theory. Who knows, man? Who knows? Probably. I don't know. No, theoretically. Well, I don't know.
You don't know.
Anyway,
You don't know, do
don't
you?
by the time when we finish
getting
this, we
there,
can
we're
have that
getting-
conversation. And so yeah, so she's like, okay, so we're stuck here. That's the problem. And so she goes to bed and whatever, and Nanachi gets out, and they're like walking around. Actually, before they went to their room, Prushka told them like, hey, don't go up those stairs because the curse of the abyss will hit you.
Yeah.
And so just stay down here and it's fine. Here's your room. Open the door. Here we go. Go in here.
Yeah.
And so Rico goes to sleep, passes out like immediately.
Yeah.
Because after she recovered, she still hadn't really slept. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like whatever, she's tired. And so come to find out that Nanachi goes to see Bondred, and he's just like, she's going to talk to him and
trying
say,
to broker a
like,
deal to
here's
get Reg and Rico
Rico,
through the gate.
yeah, he's like, just let them go. You know,
And
I'll
she'll
stay.
stay.
And
Yeah,
I'll
he's
stay.
like, Nanachi, I want you to stay with me. I want you to experiment with me some more. And she's like, okay, I'll do it, but just don't hurt them and just let them go.
then he goes-
And then he's like, oh.
He goes,
Ooh.
uh-oh.
Yeah, he's like,
Says,
I may have already made a critical error. You see.
Right.
We're already dismantling your friend. You
And
know?
she's like, what the fuck?
Uh-huh.
And then you see what they're doing to Reg.
They got Reg. You got like you got like 6 members of the Umbral Hands right there, and they've already got him strapped to a chair. Yeah, dude, they like cut his arm off. You know, they're already sticking a needle into his belly button. You know,
and he feels all of it because he's awake, but he's blindfolded, so he doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
All he knows is he's feeling this pain.
He's just in pain. Yeah. So they start. They're picking him apart. Nanachi shows up, and she's like, "This is some shit." And they're like, "Blessing, and they keep looking at her. And she ends up, they're like, this way to the chair. No, that's later. I'm sorry. She ends up getting Reg and getting him out of there, but she had to leave his arm behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
she gets out of there. Rico at this time, is this when she goes up
Yeah,
the
because
stairs?
she ends up waking up and neither Reg or Nanachi are in the room, so
Right.
she starts looking for him.
Yes.
And the only place that she hasn't looked is up those stairs. So she's just like, well, I'll just take it slow. And then, like, she's walking, she takes a few steps up, and then the next thing she
steps up.
Dude, and then it's like this beautiful fucking just all white art house scene where she literally starts breaking apart.
Totally.
At,
Yeah.
like, and she's just
She starts with a
wait,
couple of
where
cuts.
are my hands?
Yeah, a couple of
Where's
cuts
my
happen,
face?
and then her
Yeah.
consciousness starts to fade.
Yeah, and
dude.
it's
I forgot about that.
horrifying
Yeah.
and gorgeous at the same time. That's kind of a theme with this whole fucking franchise.
That's true.
It is so beautiful, but it is terrifying.
That's true. Yeah, and
So-
so all those cuts are happening. She ends up, fading to black. Or fading to white, and she wakes up, and Prushka is right there over her. Turns out she had fallen down the stairs,
Face first.
Yeah, so all those cuts that were appearing, all those injuries
Were her getting
getting
fucked
fucked
up.
up on the stairs, right? That's super fucking.
Hey, what
shady.
happened to you?
cracked
I
her-
fell down some
Oh
stairs.
yeah, she cracked her teeth.
Cracked her teeth
Oh,
because she
dude,
lost
yeah.
all sensation.
And so she locked her
Yeah.
jaw. She clenched her teeth and broke her molars.
Broke her
Oh,
molars.
And so
Luckily, they were
Prushka's-
baby molars.
Yeah, because Prushka looked into her mouth.
By the
She was
way,
like,
guys,
those molars
these
are
characters
shot.
are only like 12.
I don't even know if they're that old. I can't.
They're 12.
This is a conversation.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We gotta because that's problematic. But that anyway. Okay, because they sexualize the fuck out of these kids sometimes.
Hey, man.
I'll just tell you that. And so anyway, Prushka, gets Rico back up and functional. Then it comes to be that Nanachi and Reg, show up and they're in dire straits.
Well, what happens is Prushka has this little animal creature that can actually
Oh, yeah,
see
we gotta talk
the-
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that can actually see the parts where the
what is that thing
curse
called?
are.
Mayon?
Oh,
yeah, the little,
yeah.
the cute little cabot thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Go ahead, I'll find that.
But yeah, basically what happens is this thing can see where the curse is, and if they follow it up the stairs, then they can avoid the curse.
That's
Right.
Yeah,
and
because
she can more so than Rico.
Right.
Rico, because she actually drags Rico up the stairs.
Right.
Rico
Well,
was kind of
she's done
passed
it
out.
before.
Exactly. Yeah, she's been out there several times. And the first time she went up, it was the same
Oh,
fucking
it
way.
fucked her
It fucked her up
up,
real
dude.
bad. Like she
Yeah.
actually crushed out all of her teeth.
all of them.
All of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But they were all baby teeth, so they grew back.
Yeah.
But yeah, she takes Rico up to the top. And that's where they end up finding
That's where they
Nanachi
meet, yeah.
and Reg. And then it's like, oh, God, we got to get out of here. And Nanachi's like, Father, why would you do this? Like, this is so fucked up.
Yeah, Prushka.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah,
these
Prushka.
are my friends.
Yeah,
Why
he's
would
just like-
you do this?
Yeah, he's
He's like,
just
man,
like,
it's
you know,
for science.
yeah, man,
because
what the fuck are you
science.
talking about? And he's like, and by the way, it's your turn, and they escort her to the chair. And so that's where our story.
Oh, not quite yet, because
What?
yeah,
not?
because they run out, and then Vertru, knowing that they were gonna run, because he's actually takes Prushka outside with him when he's going to confront them.
Oh yeah,
And because there was a piece of the puzzle
that was missing.
That was missing.
Yes.
You know. So what ends up happening is they have this big bombastic battle. It's fucking awesome.
It's fucking dope
It's
because they set a trap.
They set a trap.
Yeah.
And Prushka's off on the sidelines actually watching all this happen. What ends up happening is Vernchun actually gets crushed by a rock.
Well, before that,
they
start
drop him into like this watery area, which actually goes down to the.
This battle's very long. A lot takes.
Yeah, that is a long ass.
It's a long fight, man. Because you remember they end up injecting him with all those parasites.
Dude,
they inject him with that. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, what the fuck? He's like, this is crazy. You're amazing.
It's like, you hit me right in the chink of where my armor is.
Yeah,
Good
man.
job.
And so they have like a multi-staged approach to fighting him. They end up like knocking him down to the water, like you were saying.
Reg, like, wraps his fucking legs around him essentially, and then pulls him up really fast. So he feels
ascends his ass.
Ascends.
Yeah, dude. Like,
and he just blows up and gets all mushy and shit. Thanks, Art.
Kiss,
Smoochies.
Kiss, kiss.
But yeah, and then they crush him with a rock, and effectively he's dead, essentially.
Yeah.
You know?
So they think. Well, actually, what happens is his consciousness just shifts into
into another one.
Seeing that flips shit.
Yeah.
You know, because that's her dad.
Yeah.
And doesn't the other one like come over and
he comes
pick
over
his
and
helmet
takes
up?
the helmet up
Yep.
off of the one that got crushed and puts it back on, and he's like, "Your father's right here."
Yeah.
You know? I'm right here.
Of course, Prushka's just like, "Daddy!" And he picks her up, and he's just like, "See, this went great according to plan," and then like knocks her out real quick, and it's just like, "I needed one more piece, and you were very instrumental in helping me with this." You know,
he was like, we haven't been able to replicate what happened with Nanachi and Midi.
Yeah.
He's like, because
Until
the key
now.
is love.
Yeah.
He was like, it's love, Nanachi. It's love. And so if you have somebody who has a true love, a pure love for you, then you can avoid the curse of the abyss and get nothing but the blessings of the abyss.
Exactly.
And so that's what he's been doing the whole time with Prushka, is just building a bond with her and building that love. And so her seeing him die, he thought the whole thing through. He knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
He knew,
God, dude.
and if not, he would just kill him and then figure something else out.
Right.
But yeah, man. And so like he finally made her fully love him. Even though I will say one thing that we skipped over, I guess we'll talk about it. I don't know. Though when they were talking about when Rico's telling Prushka about Reg's penis, and he's like, it actually gets hard and all this kind of stuff, and she's like, "Oh, you mean a papa pole?"
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, "Excuse?" like what? So apparently,
there's some touchy
it's
things.
it's some kind of way. I'm sure they just took baths together. Who knows the deal?
Hey man, pajama pants, they come open.
Pajama
right? Yeah, and so Bondrewd ends up taking Rico. Oh, not Rico. I'm sorry, Prushka. Back to his lab, where they start to mark her, and that's when you find out that he has been, his latest experiments, he's been making these cartridges that make him immune to the curse of the abyss.
As he's ascending.
And
they're made out of children.
Yeah, so what he does is he'll scrape away, he'll like take off pieces of their extremities. Like you see her from Prushka's perspective, it's like her hand being removed.
My hand.
Oh, that's my
that's
leg.
my leg.
Oh,
I don't
even know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? And so they just basically like, taking off her limbs and all of her pieces and scraping the wet rest away so that nothing remains but her brain, her spinal column.
The only things that she needs to stay conscious enough to still be alive.
Exactly.
Technically. And then they shove it all in a box.
Yeah.
And then Bertrude just wears it on his back. And as he's ascending, what'll happen is the kids in the boxes will take on the curse while he takes on the blessing, and that thing that he has on his back will just shoot him out.
Right.
Right.
He also explains that in order to get a white whistle, you have to have someone sacrificed, right? Like a white whistle comes from a stone of. It's not a stone of remembrance. It's a stone of. Oh God, there's a name for it. Whatever. It turns into a stone that it's not Stone of Eternity. Anyway, it turns into a stone that then becomes the white whistle, right? And so he's just like, like in order to get a white whistle, here's how they're made, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But he ends up having another battle with Reg, and it's super fucking hype. Nanachi is basically talking him through the plan the whole time. They go deep into. Go ahead.
Sorry. Something to mention. At this point, they have broken back into the lab to save Prushka.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Reg ends up electrifying himself.
Well, because Reg was down to only 3 more uses of his incinerator. Nanachi was like, you know what? Actually, because Reg had a helmet on that had symbols on it,
and that's
right?
where you
and
find out that
you've
there's
seen
a
this
hard
the
limit.
entire time. Exactly, but basically that was measuring the limit of his power, and every time he uses incinerator, it takes a huge chunk of his energy away that isn't necessarily replenishable by easy means. And so when they go back in there to try to get Prushka, he actually ends up redirecting all of the power from the entire fortress into himself. And he goes ham.
Basically, it's implied that he reverts back to what he was before he met Rico.
Right. Well, he said that there were a lot of consciousnesses that came alive within him at one time. One took hold.
And that was a wild
And if you've ever seen like Nine Tails Naruto, you know what I'm saying? Or like, around 4 or 5 Tails when he just kind of blacks out and just starts fucking shit up. That's what we've got here. And you get to see Reg in rare form, boy.
Guts in the armor, like full on just berserk.
And he
amazing.
comes for Bertrand.
Yes.
And like, he's having the battle, and of course, like, he's flipping around, and like Bondrew's is just like, I'd love to see what you're capable of, but I have important things that I need to get to, and then just slaps him the fuck down. And I don't think it was Rico that
Scorpion Tail.
Scorpion
Tail.
Yeah, Scorpion. Just bam.
And Reg's like, I can't even track that guy's movements. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, well,
he's so
at some
fast.
point, like, what is it? Rico, he does the incinerator, and somebody snaps him out of his like blackout rage mode.
Well, that was the end of their. No, that's at the end of everything. That was
because he does that big like bubble.
He does a big that was the last. Yes, that was the last attack of his rage mode. Is that he made it?
It's spirit bomb. He basically has a spirit bomb.
Yes.
Bertrand survives. They have another big fight, but Rico's actually conscious. But he says to him,
"Well, Rico went a different direction. Like she ended up. Well, we don't know it at the time.
Reg. I meant Reg.
Right.
Reg is conscious, and he says
he's
that
with Nanachi.
I understand my body better now.
Right, because during all of that, it awakened all of his memories about how his body actually functions.
Right. And he's able to do some cool shit, dude. He's like going, like he's spinning his fucking arms around his fucking body,
totally.
and like going up walls and shit.
He goes
the
Super
way
Saiyan
automatons should.
Yeah. And so he beast modes out. You don't really quite know where Rico is. But they end up developing. He and Nanachi develop a plan to kill Bondrewd.
Right.
It turns out that Bondrewd was only able to continuously shift his consciousness because of a giant relic that he had underground, and they ended up finding that relic, and so they ended up destroying it. And now the only thing left to do is to kill Bondrewd.
The man. So what ends up happening is you don't really see Rico throughout this whole time. Rico went and got Reg's other arm, which was in the lab.
Right.
And apparently, Reg can still use said
because
arm.
he makes an allusion to it earlier. He's like, I still feel my fingers. And she's like, no, that must be phantom pain, that I've heard about before. Yeah. But really what it is that he was still in control of that arm,
just
even though it had been amputated. And so in this last battle,
that arm has Bluetooth.
They ended up setting up, they set Bondrewd up hard set him up. Ends up hitting him with dual stage incinerators, one of which is fired by Rico, but really is fired by Reg.
But Rico's
holding it.
She's helping,
which is dope. And so so you end up basically right before that last attack, Bondrewd does eject one final cartridge.
Well, it's funny because he's like popping cartridges left and right. And every time one falls out, he's just like, oh, that was this one.
Oh, yeah.
They all have names.
They all have names.
Ooh.
And
They
earlier,
all have names.
earlier in this episode, we're moving kind of quick because we have to, but there was a scene where Reg and Bondrewd were down at the sixth, on the sixth layer, in that same place where he always drops the children down. They were both down there, and all those middies, for lack of a better thing to call them at the time, were down there, and Bondrewd knew them all by name.
Oh yeah,
so all these little masses of flesh that are just crawling around, he knows them all by name.
Saying hi to them and
says hi to them.
Right,
you know. Good morning, my children.
Yeah, right. And so that's important to know.
Yeah.
Yuck,
and so
man.
but that last cartridge that he ejects off of his back ends up being Prushka. You know, and so then that's how they find out that he sacrificed her daughter and sacrificed his daughter and turned her into one of those cartridges, and he has hell to pay.
Yeah, and you know, like, so yeah, Bondrewd is defeated.
Yes.
It's implied that he can potentially do another swap.
Well, they say that there are several of his Umber hands that are still alive. And a lot of those were like black whistles that have pledged themselves to Bondrewd.
Yeah.
A lot of them were like bounty hunters that were sent to kill Bondrewd and then signed themselves over to his cause.
Yeah.
Right. During the fight, they end up actually breaking a piece of his. Actually, it's the previous fight.
Oh, yeah,
they broke a piece of his mask.
Because he does come back at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. But the previous fight, they broke a piece of his mask, but then they're like, no, it's not about the mask. It's all about this relic. They destroy that relic. Whatever. So they end up defeating Bondrewd, and he has his death monologue to Nanachi, you know, telling her.
He's all beast mode.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was just like, you know, I truly loved you, all this kind of stuff. I'm so happy that you are moving on. He's like, you know, I
you
hope
are so cute.
Yeah, you are so cute. I hope that your future is filled with curses and blessings.
Yeah,
you know,
equally filled with curses and blessings.
Right, you
Yeah,
know,
dude.
and so during all this, Rico is over there holding the cartridge that was containing
and she is
Prushka, and she is losing her shit, man. She's losing her shit, and she keeps saying like, "You're spilling out, Prushka, you're spilling out."
She
keeps
keeps
coming out of the
trying to
cartridge,
put
and
it.
she's trying to stuff her back in there.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just a super emotional scene. But then in a nice little glow, Prushka becomes her white whistle.
Prushka becomes her white whistle, and the little animal friend that was always hanging around Prushka, she.
The thing kept coming up and drinking Prushka.
Well, it could smell her. It knew it was her.
Yeah, it knew it was her, but which is what
it's one of those
the
things
audience.
where it's just like, you know, you have a dog,
it was
and
drinking
if you're hurt, it'll like try to lick the wound.
Oh, I thought it was more like when
That
a
thing
cat
was
finds your body in the apartment and
I
starts
think
eating
it's more
you.
like that. I think it's more like that. Yes.
I'm trying to be
that thing was
hopeful in this dark place.
Oh shit, you dead?
Yeah, you know, it came out, it started crying, then it's like, okay, well, bloop, 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 bloop. Every time it started spilling some more, it go over there, bloop, bloop. You know,
Prushka ends up being Rico's white whistle, and so now they can get through the gate. Now they can go down to layer 6.
She blows her whistle, of course, where Reg got stabbed in the stomach earlier. Ended up actually being healed by her white whistle as well. And they end up being able to get through the portal to head to the 6th layer.
The 6th layer.
On their way out, they see Bondrewd, and he's still got some umbral hands behind him. But for the first time, he's still wearing his broken mask. But for the first time, you actually see a human eye behind that mask. So all of that really just to say that maybe none of those were Bondrewd. Bondrewd's like, all of these are me.
Those were all Doombots,
they're
baby.
All me, but they're all Doombots.
They're all Doombots, baby.
They adjust his consciousness, which is why I asked, do you think he can still even blow his white whistle?
Yeah, totally. I think
that last version of him that's there. Yes.
Yeah, the last one was his human form, because every other time, whenever when they broke the eye off of the mask, it's always a mutated eye up underneath. There's never a human eye. Now, then the other half of that's kind of weird is that Bondrewd got his white whistle by sacrificing himself. Right?
Yeah.
So usually, you have to sacrifice somebody who loves you and cares about you.
But he's so much of a narcissist, the only bit he cared about is
himself.
himself.
Right? All he cares about is the science.
Fucking great.
Science.
It's the
experiment.
But how do you kill science?
Yeah, dude. And so he sacrificed himself. So theoretically, he shouldn't be without that relic he shouldn't be alive unless that's his final reincarnation.
Probably.
Maybe the original him is the final incarnation.
Yeah.
I think he can use that whistle, man. I think that Bondrewd will come back later because what he
Once
did
they
was
get
he
deep
stood
in
there. He stood there and he watched them go, and he's like proud of them. He's because that's what a white whistle test is. You know what I'm saying? Ozen showed us that up front. You know, like I'm gonna try to fucking kill you, and if you can make it, hey, good
then
for
you're
you.
good. Yeah.
Man, and that's such a weird double-edged sword mentality because it's like one of those things where, well, half of it you're like, well, you're just a bastard because you're doing this thing to people unexpectedly or whatever, people that are weaker than you. But then the other side of it is like, there's worse shit out there than you. And you know that. So that's why you're doing this test.
Exactly. And the curse of the abyss is starting to spread, right?
Yeah.
So this threatens to threaten the people on the surface eventually over time too. So time is short, you know what I'm saying? So he's just doing whatever he can by any means possible to figure this shit out as fast as he possibly can. You know, and if that means sacrificing lives to do it, he's like, absolutely, I'll do that. Yeah, like no question.
So, what does this mean going forward? Because, like, obviously they're getting into 6.
Yes.
You know?
That'll be covered in
Season 2.
Season 2.
But do you think the end is them stopping the curse? You know what I mean? Do you think is that what they're working towards?
Know.
Do you think that they're going to get to whatever the source?
I think there's something else down there that may be better. It all at the end of the day, where's Liza, right?
Yeah.
So, and why did her whistle come back, right? So that means that the odds are very likely because remember Ozen said she dug up that grave.
Yeah.
And there was nobody in there. There was nothing in there. Of course she checked.
Yeah.
You know, and so the odds are very likely that Liza found something else and maybe evolved into something different, or maybe there's a better way to live versus the way that they're all currently living. And she's like, okay, I'm sending my whistle up because the only way anybody's going to be able to get down here is if my kid does it.
It's also heavily implied that Liza sent Reg.
Right. It's heavily
implied. Get Rico.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know?
So that might be a thing. We might see more Regs down there.
Well, we don't. Well, yeah,
you know what
maybe
I mean?
because they're saying he's like super incredibly built. Like, he's just like this technology is insane.
So what if he has to face off against other ones?
You know,
what I
or
mean?
maybe he's a brother to Rico. Maybe
I'm about to say maybe he's the only Obot.
You know, like
Maybe Liza built him.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think she's Dr. Light.
Yeah.
I think that she did.
Dr. Light, she's fucking Dr. Light.
You know, but Reg was a human at one point in time, and he was a sacrifice, you know, in order to make something that could resist the curse of the abyss in order to get back to the surface. Because he was on his way up, you know, when he found Rico, he was going up.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Rico
you know?
found him,
Yeah. And so.
Wow, we've been talking about this for a
found
while.
Who? You said Rico found him? He found Rico. He
saved Rico.
So he found Rico.
And then,
then Rico found him.
6 in one hand, half dozen.
They ran into each other.
They ran into each other. There.
For real, if she wouldn't have found Regu, it would have been all right. But if Regu wouldn't have found her, she would have been dead.
She'd have been dead.
You know?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, dude. It's like Rico could not traverse this.
No, that's what Nanachi always says. It's like if you die, this adventure is over.
This adventure is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rico is very smart. She's very capable. She's very knowledgeable, but she's very frail.
She's very frail. She's just a little girl, man. And then, but I think that's what we're going to start leading into is getting Rico to a point where she's not such a liability, right? It's like I think at this point,
you think they're going to do like an age gap situation?
I don't know if we'll have a time skip,
yeah.
but I do think that there's going to come a point where she's like, I can't always be the one to be saved. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can't always. She has this whistle now. Now we're about to see where her power starts to grow. I believe that.
Yeah.
Because eventually this whole trope of maiden in distress is just like y'all can't make it. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
Right.
You know, everyone's got something to offer except for Rico, which is just getting everybody into trouble and cooking a good meal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, she has the knowledge of the abyss.
She does know everything.
She knows
Jesus.
everything.
Yeah. That's true.
It's like, because again, it's just like, Reg's the brawn, Rico's the brains, and then Nanachi's the medical experience, I guess.
I was going to say, Nanachi is the strategist.
She is the strategist.
You know, like she's the one, she'll come up with a plan like that, you know. they would not have taken Bondrewd out if it wasn't for Nanachi.
absolutely
Nanachi's
not.
like, we got a 7-step plan, and we're about to do this shit. And
We gotta
this plan-
outsmart a guy who's constantly going to be trying to outsmart us.
and is well capable of doing so.
And
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, man. I mean, anything can. I would say the sky's the limit, but
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
this is the limit, man.
I'm super stoked for the second half. I'm really
And
trying
this
not-
game.
and the game. Yeah,
I'm curious
really
about the game.
Trying,
I hope they don't ruin it.
I'm really trying not to read ahead in the manga.
Oh, okay.
Right
Yeah.
now, yeah, because I wanna experience that shit like for real. Like this
Animated.
hands down, this is my favorite thing ever.
Wow.
Like,
Wow, I'll
this,
give you that.
This honestly is this. It's rare for a show or a entertainment property to tick one of my boxes.
Yeah.
This show ticks every single one of them.
Hey, baby, you tick my boxes.
You tick my
I like
boxes.
that too.
Yeah.
I like that too.
You
You
know,
tick every box.
I love the way it looks. I love the way the characters are. I love this world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's beautiful.
Fourth.
Hey, you know
Just
what I
that
love?
First episode when the sun's coming up and you see those like and that
Oh, yeah.
music.
The
Oh my
music's
good.
god!
Dude,
like
all the
that's his
music.
Hey,
favor.
no,
yes.
man, that map
That
of
a
the
cappella
abyss
music?
that they show
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
I want a
I want
poster of that
I want
so
that.
bad, dude.
Absolutely,
It's so
It's so
good.
Yeah.
sick.
I
It's so sick.
love this, but anyways, what I think it's obvious. But what do you guys think about it?
I mean, let's put it this way. Do any of us have anything negative to say about
Not
this
a thing.
show?
Not at all.
There's not more of it right now.
That's about
Yeah.
it, right?
That's my
yeah,
Yeah.
I want more.
If you don't
Yeah.
like something that's super brutal, maybe you shouldn't watch it. But
Yeah.
other than that one thing, this shit's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Get your
every
Kleenex
facet
ready
of
to-
it's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, because especially going from watching season 1, I watched all of this really over the span of like a week or two,
Yeah.
and so
I couldn't stop watching that shit.
Right,
Like,
well,
I really
I
couldn't.
had
I know
to.
you had
She
to
was
pause it
finishing
because you
up
guys were
school,
both
and
watching
yeah,
it.
exactly,
Yeah.
right. So it just made it rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I took that long. But after finishing season 1, and then you go into the movie, it takes up like right at the end.
Right.
Of season
I
1,
love
right?
that.
Me
I
too.
love
Me
that.
too. And so the second it started, I'm just like, just got so excited. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then I got crushed.
Yeah,
And very
it does
seldom.
crush the fuck out of
It
you.
does, man. It really does. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm serious. Like, it's up there with
Heart insurance,
like
man.
Requiem for a Dream for me, man. It's
I
like,
mean, yeah.
like, as far as horrific imagery that will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Some of
just
that's
these
right there.
ideas.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, dude.
uncomfortable, but it's also very hopeful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. And so, no, man. Made in Abyss, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Amazing show.
Yeah.
If you're not watching it, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like I said, with it being on Amazon Prime, a lot of people don't know, hey, that's the way
Right.
you want to look,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I got
And
you.
then I ended up, I started watching the movie, and then I went and looked at 9 because I needed my sub. Like after, like
yeah.
I'm used to those voices at this
Yeah.
point.
Oh yeah,
and so
yeah, I understand.
we ended up watching it that way. But Amazon Prime, if you have Prime, you have the entire season 1 of Made in Abyss. Get on that shit.
I know.
Trust
Ooh,
me.
it's so good.
Yeah,
Trust
and the Blu-rays
us.
really aren't that like expensive either. You know, if you end up liking this show, they're really easy to get. You
Yeah,
can find
support 'em.
online. Support them, hell yeah.
Support them.
If you don't want to go through, if for some reason you don't have the time to go through a whole season of anime, they're 2 movies that basically
the condensed
are
versions.
condensed versions of the first season.
Which I
Right,
generally
'cause
don't like. I'd rather have
you know
the
what?
full
They're fine.
episodes, but really they
Right.
work
They're
it
fine.
out just fine.
They work. They
Okay.
work just fine. They
Cool.
don't really cut out that much.
Okay.
Right, because season 1 in the movies are basically volumes 1 through 3, or 1 through 4, and
Of
then
the
5
manga?
of the manga,
Yeah.
and then 5 and 6 are the movie.
5. Well, no. What
Or is
it
it
is
4 and 5?
season 1 is 1 through 3, as
Yes.
far as I know. And then volume 4 is the movie potentially moving over again.
I think it's
haven't
4 and
got-
5. I think
It
4
might have
and
been
5
4 and 5
is,
is the movie.
movie.
And then the going forward, it'll be like whatever they cover for.
God, I can't wait to see where this
I
story's
can't
going to
wait.
go.
It's gonna. It could go.
What would you say we got a month?
I think it's next month that it's coming out. I think it's.
I'll get us a hard date.
Yeah, because I looked up the date for the game, and that's not coming out anytime soon.
No.
They don't even have
it'll
have a
be-
date
it'll
on it
be
yet.
a minute.
Yeah, it's
But,
got that December 31st date on it.
Yeah. So, anything else is highly recommended.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty
You
much
know?
it. Yeah,
Highly recommended. Watch this fucking show.
yeah.
Um,
It's hard to recommend something as much as this.
Yeah,
true.
You know?
agreed wholeheartedly.
So, Anyway,
They said summer 2022.
Summer.
Yeah, so it's gonna be in July.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here in the next few months or so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah.
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 good
I
shit.
guess we're winding down.
I mean, yeah. At this
That's
point,
about
it's
it.
nothing but gushing, right?
Right,
Right.
exactly. And I
Yeah.
don't mind. I'll gush about this fucking
I mean,
show.
I would
I'll do
too.
it the rest
Even though
of the
I
night.
do want to bring up the whole like 12-year-old thing just to do it,
Yeah.
because it is kind of weird. And because I always think about the guy who you bought the manga from, who is just like, hey, lowly content, etc. And I think about that and how that might be. Because when I first saw Rico, strung up naked, it's a punishment that they give the kids if they do something wrong, back on the surface. Then you string them up naked and they're just exposed,
Right.
and whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
and
that
then-
makes sense.
Yeah.
the fuck is happening here, man? And so, and there's a lot of these things, she would talk about how whenever Reg would touch Nanachi, how his dick would get hard.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, his penis would actually get long.
Yeah.
And, then, you got Prishka over here saying a papa pole. And I'm just like, dude, this is weird. Prishka's got 12, I guess, would be a good number. Because they keep giving these characters boobs. Minty had huge boobs, which I didn't understand if these are children, because I couldn't tell if they're like more like
She's
8 or 9.
Eating that chicken with the hormones. in it.
Right.
Right. But it's kind of weird with their ages, because remember the kid on the surface, they referred to him as a baby.
Yeah.
But he would always read books and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what? And he always,
Yeah.
he was always like, the hinging point of any of their plans, because he could distract anybody, because they just, it made it hard for me to figure out how old is everybody.
No
like,
idea.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that I think is while I completely understand if people get shifty-eyed about all that stuff. and,
Yeah,
like,
it's not a focus of the show.
No,
it's just
not
some
at
little
all.
subtext every once in a while.
I don't find it that bothering, because
It's
I
not.
feel like it's more of a character building and kind of like reminding you that even though these kids are very knowledgeable and very capable, they are still children because of their ignorance of a very almost adult subject.
Right.
So it's.
I think it's also about like hormonal change as well.
Yeah. I mean, they're
um,
preteens. They're about to go through a lot
because
of
this
changes.
show does not shy away from like bodily functions. Do you
At
remember
all.
when the little what was that thing called? It was like Maya, the little thing that Prisha kept under her hat. When she was first given it by Bondrewd, it immediately poops.
Yeah, it gets little green poops.
Yeah, she starts petting it and then it just starts
Poop,
pooping.
poop, poop.
Yeah, it's just like, okay.
I
well,
mean,
that's-
bodily functions are not something that they shy away from, because there's a lot of brutal shit, and
Right.
it's just like, this is just life.
it's just life.
This is just life.
Right.
So I mean, like, again, go in, know what you're getting into.
Right,
You know,
right. I mean, there
and-
may be
and
some
judge-
moments that are going to make
judge
you be like,
yourself
"Huh?"
Rico's
accordingly.
12.
So maybe that's just the deal. Maybe they're on the cusp of puberty at this point in time
Yep.
as well. Even though poor Reg can't age,
Yeah.
But he can get a stick up the butt.
he can.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I was about to say, I don't know. They keep alluding to him, getting a little excited there. It's like, boy, calm down. He's like, I hang out with these girls all the time.
All the time.
That one's fun.
That one's fuzzy. That one's frequently naked. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
No. What do you want from me?
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway.
Shit.
I highly recommend
you
it.
for
Love this
watching.
fucking show. Yeah, thank you for watching. We're going to be done now.
Oh my God.
Thank you guys so much for dealing with this long gush section.
Right.
Session.
Yeah.
And thank you for being in the chat. Thank you for the follows.
Thank you for the
like, share,
support and the
subscribe.
love,
Check
and
us
if you
out.
haven't followed already, please do.
Please do hit
Hit
the
that
bell. Follow
Welcome
it.
to Anime. This is only the
This is
first
anime.
weekend.
It's only the first
yeah.
one. So we're gonna be talking about. Did we already decide what we're talking about next week?
I mean, I think you should finish Bubble, and we should talk about this.
All right.
Well, I mean, I have to start
But yeah, I was about to say it's not my pick. So
Yeah.
I got you.
I'm still. My vote is Thunderbolt Fantasy.
I got you.
And so which y'all should have started watching by now.
I
Probably
haven't.
didn't. Yeah, of course not. Of course not. So we'll figure it out. We'll
Figure
let
it
you guys
out.
know.
Let you know. Check us out on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen to your podcasts.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week. Good.
Peace out, family.
Bye.
Love y'all.